those gentlemen.
Okay.
And they allegedly found bleach in their apartment. They may have.
Well, we all have bleach in our apartment.
That's fair.
Hopefully.
Found a red hat. We all have red hats. That's fine.
I don't have a red hat.
They didn't say it was a MAGA hat. They just said it was a red hat. They just said it was red hat.
Is that a MAGA?
Parks has a red. Oh, yeah, red Levi's.
No, this is full red Levi's on Parks.
Same thing.
All right.
Same shit, man.
What was I doing?
You have red polos.
I was.
Yeah, those things were found in the apartment. I mean, I don't know.
There's a fight going on over here, I believe.
We called bullshit weeks ago. We got killed for it. I need to see some apologies.
That's what you're asking for?
Yes, I'm asking for an apology.
Oh, that's what I was doing.
Slow down. The cops let this nigga rock.
So
They was
he's
letting him
here.
rock. Wasn't pursuing anything.
I need to go
And
back
then
up.
Jussie gets on Good Morning America and does an interview.
Yeah, I need to go back.
Talking about how pissed off he is at the lack of support that he received from the community.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who has prior experience with pissing off the police, that is exactly
In the beginning, legends of Flying Men soared.
And to some of the law-abiding citizens out there that don't have any clue on how this works, when you piss off the police, they play back. So it's no shock that right after this Good Morning America interview is when the cops got a warrant to go into two gentlemen's house, search and get all of this stuff. It's no shock that that's when all of the documents classified.
Why is a woman to be treated differently?
Wait, what the
Women's
fuck?
suffrage will succeed, despite this miserable guerrilla position.
Oh shit, I went back.
That was talking shit about what we were saying. Because some of y'all just don't know shit about shit. Now that we're here, what happens to Jussie Smollett? Like, if they don't press charges, if they don't put him under the fucking jail, because I think it's a serious offense.
Do all my goddamn points.
The emotions of the oppressed. I said it on State of the Culture. I said it again.
Yes.
Like, I stand by that.
Fuck.
For
I
you
don't
to
remember what I
play
fucking had on here.
For you to weaponize the police.
Let's see.
Like white people do. Let me stop saying white people, because I love white people. But for you to weaponize the police, for you to weaponize that outrage.
No.
The outrage of your own
It's
people.
production towards something.
And just using the key words. Noose, MAGA, get out my country. Like, it was specific to get that outrage out of people that these events happen. That's the bullshit. Like, these events happen all the time. And now you just using it.
But that's why this is dangerous, because you take something that happens
Oh, wait,
that really
here
happens.
it
It really happens.
That.
Exactly. I'll be totally,
kid that cried wolf.
I'll be totally honest with y'all. Had I not
Does that go away? Yes,
comfortable
it does.
in my stance with the LGBTQ community,
Your
I probably
tree
wouldn't
with
have been
Ally
so
City
so
provides
firm in
plus
addressing
2
it.
food.
Because that's how
plus
sensitive it
2.
is. You don't wanna offend, that community. But I didn't. So we did. But I could see why a lot of people skipped it. Why a lot of people avoided it.
And
What happens now?
let's see.
I mean, I think he should definitely. That type of fucking desperation. Like,
put
there's
that
rumors
down
going
there.
around that he was being kicked off of
think I
Empire.
gotta
Newsflash, homeboy.
get
Niggas
her
stopped
on.
watching Empire at least 4 seasons ago.
I didn't even know that shit was still
You
on.
don't have to do. I don't know what's the name of them niggas? What's their family name?
I didn't know
have
that
no
one.
idea what the Lions is doing.
I honestly had no idea that
shut
shit
up,
was
Joe.
I watched the first season. That's about it.
I think I made it to
Concentrate.
3. Maybe 1 and.
Let's see. Science, campus adjacency, science, faith, and gold from each city-state. Your science, culture. Shit, that might not even be a good one anymore. Your trade routes to an ally city provide 2 food, 2 for both cities. Great artists, points per turn, unit maintenance, production. Alright, so what do I got? I got, that's the earlier one. Movement, ancient, no. Military academies and seaports, no. 50%, no. combat victories, no. Accumulate less war, no. Theater Square, 100% gold yield from commercial hub district buildings. Shit, I might need that. Yeah, because if I did that instead of unit maintenance costs, let's see, from commercial hub district buildings. Yeah, that probably is gonna do better than that. Let's see, gold in your cities, not on your original. Plus 25% gold in cities, not in your original capital. Damn, which one did I have? Industrial zone, receive 50 gold per appeal of tile when replacing your for housing. That would be good if it wasn't for the -8 gold to all cities. Yeah, fuck that. Enter city, each city, +1 culture for each. Now, reduce the cost of purchasing a tile. Production towards builders and newly trained. Holy site. I swear I had one for science. +4 gold and +1 faith for all trade routes. +1 no influence each. +2 influence per turn for each city state. Your first envoy you send. 50% production towards spy. Operations take 25% less time. +1 gold from each of your envoys at city states. Enemy spies level now. Artist, engineer, writer. Alright, fuck it. I'll go with this. So I got these units. Science. Campus district. Adjacency bonus. Commercial hub. And harbor district, yeah. Science. Fuck it, let's see what does this turn out to be. Damn it! Didn't do it right. So last time I had a surplus, not a deficiency. And is it too late to change it? Damn. Could load that save file. Yeah, I'll load that save.
In the beginning, legends of flying men soared. And today, you are on the brink.
2 for me.
Short one.
I don't see enough people killing this nigga. I don't. Honestly. For this type of egregious ass act, I don't see niggas really like getting him the fuck out of here.
It's all the evidence. Jesus.
So
yeah, but no,
I
when we call
production,
bullshit, people
science,
like, oh, that's fucked up.
commercial hub.
We need to see it in real time.
I told people when you're on stage reading from cue cards about you being beat
Where's my
up,
pin at?
something
Oh,
is
got
not
my
right
damn pin.
about it.
Oh, I got plenty of
There was
pins.
no footage off rip.
Yeah, like it's just something that just wasn't right
issue
about
with
that.
what's gonna happen when the evidence comes out.
And then he said, I'm the gay Tupac. Like, you went from reading about being attacked, being like a hate crime and all this stuff, to I'm the gay Tupac. I can't take you serious. I can't take that serious.
No, but you realize when these facts come out, you're now giving all the ammo that Fox News and everyone that's been waiting for something like this to happen. Told y'all this is all racism doesn't exist. It's all a lie. Like, they're gonna run with it.
No, but the part that's weird to me is that he had support from Fox because he's a Fox brand.
Fox the company and Fox News don't even talk to each other.
But Trump was like sending out condolences for the first time that someone egregious.
Oh shit! So I had unit maintenance
like
down there.
Because I
If
feel
the
like
words MAGA are in there and there's a noose, Fox News is going to run with this shit and try to make every single situation that's real seem fake because of this bullshit. Like, Jesse fucked up everything, period. Now they're gonna run with every last real situation and go back to this one anytime for the next 10 years. But there was
In the beginning, legends of flying men
it's
soared.
all a lie.
that's the danger.
Like, that's what that's his legacy.
They said he did it because he was being written off of Empire.
Allegedly. That's the rumor.
So this is supposed to be his way to get back on.
But let me ask y'all, because I mean, maybe I'm stupid. Would that save him? No, I know in music, maybe if you
Men, their rights.
buzzing, so maybe they keep you now.
No, how could you
on time?
How could you drop this poor beaten person from the show?
Oh, I didn't think
Like,
that's. I thought that,
Empire would quote unquote look nuts if they did
I
something
think
like
this
that.
was just his plan to get popping post Empire.
That's
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
You're right,
You're right.
because they didn't point to Empire. They pointed to his songs, his music career. So you might be right.
100.
And where does his music career stand? I don't know.
He's been a singer on the show. I didn't hear like a single outside the show, but he definitely performed well in the show.
Well, if it turns out that he was lying, where does his music career go?
I would like to think his career is over.
Does it affect it at all?
Of course.
No, all this.
You say that
Science.
on this podcast all the time. We talk about how there's no rules, no boundaries, really, and anything is allowed.
Yeah, but I think this is
This is a little
Nah,
different.
I've seen a lot of shitty fucking things and shitty actions lead to success in music and entertainment and politics.
this won't be one of them.
I don't know.
You can't go.
There's more people that know his name now.
You can't go from a fake hate crime to.
There's gonna be a lot more people. People were clicking R. Kelly links. They're gonna click his link just to hear what the fuck he's talking about.
No. I mean, of
But
course,
I
some
think
will.
I think that'll move for the
going?
first single. I don't think that'll
Oh, that's true.
move
Long
for
term.
like,
But his first single better be fire.
even if it is.
What is the biggest? What's like the biggest music scandal that you've ever witnessed or of your time? For me and Milli Vanilli.
You mean strictly musical, not like R. Kelly or Michael Jackson?
No. Not personal shit. Strictly a musical scandal, fall off, or something like to shock the world. Like
Milli Vanilli's up there. The Drake.
I was gonna say, even though it really didn't do shit for my
still up.
generation, Drake not writing this shit was big.
Yeah.
That's crazy that ended up not mattering.
I mean, that's.
But somebody did say that we would look at if you're reading this is too late differently without that big shit. And he's probably right. Like that project.
Yeah.
We probably
I say it all the time. People look over that project.
We might respect it more if Meek didn't put it
That's
down.
But it came out before Meek did the shit.
Damn it.
Yeah, but it was that.
I mean, it
came
came a few
That tainted it.
weeks after. Yeah, I suppose I could.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
all of them fucking reference tracks. And
Yeah, that was for.
Man,
Shit off that.
running through the 6 with my woes.
that album. I hated that album. You know.
Wait, which one did I use?
Oh wait, back to no rules, no boundaries. That's what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
But why were we talking about that?
Jesse, if he puts out a single.
Okay, so you say it's over for him.
Yeah.
And Parks, I'm with Parks on.
I think it could
He
work.
has, I've seen
I'm-
him.
I'm-
I'm with Mo.
He wasn't really.
That's on with Mo because I don't think he's gonna put out a great
People
single.
didn't care about him before this like that. He
I
wasn't
agree.
like.
But I've seen it now where it's worked.
Nah, he's
Shitty things have worked.
Mm.
I'm saying for me, I don't want to. I'm not going to listen to him. If
In
all
the
this shit ends up
beginning,
being
legends of flying men soared.
Fucking no more resets.
I'm
If I
only
fucked it up
transitioning.
again,
I know
then I
these guys
fucked it
aren't
up
done with
again.
this yet, but the reports came out that 6ix9ine may not do any jail time if he comes out and snitches on everybody and does no time.
That's where I was going.
Where does this leave his music?
Back to no boundaries.
So I
No
think
rules.
here's the opposite. I think 6ix9ine will be fine.
Really?
No.
I think he's going to
You
have a
are
hard time.
incorrect.
I think
You are
I
incorrect.
think
in
he
that
can.
one.
I think he can live in God knows what island and put
What?
music out,
No.
and those kids will love it.
Nah,
What
because
is his
he's got
content? What is he gonna talk about?
It hurts my
You think
soul.
do you think the kids give a fuck about 6ix9ine's content?
Yeah, hell
It really
What is
hurts
he
my
gonna
soul.
talk
driven
about?
by content.
Yeah, what is he gonna talk? He was content driven.
Yeah.
No, the fact that it was real or not.
No, I'm not talking about the content of his lyrics. I'm talking about
Why is a woman to be treated?
all that shit that he was doing.
No, I'm talking about him putting out music.
He could put out music,
still
but-
say that he is the biggest thug on earth on records, and his fans, not us.
No.
His fans won't
It
care.
can't be no more of that
Nah,
talk.
because it's bigger than just
To y'all.
No, it's
to y'all.
It's
To the
bigger
world,
than just
no.
the music itself.
To y'all.
You gotta.
He can't talk about his whole image. Everything
you.
that he was is gone.
To y'all.
No,
Go to the world. Everything that he has, he built up
Yo,
his
fam,
image.
if
is
you
gone.
think those fucking 12-year-old white kids in St. fucking Missouri give a fuck about his image and if it's real, you are bugging.
Do you think that if he didn't have tattoos on his face and rainbow-colored hair and did all the antics that he did on the internet, that people would care? Because there's 1,000 people in your mentions right now putting out the same exact music that he is and getting 0 spins.
1,000%.
They're not 6ix9ine right now. Like, what are you
That's
talking about
true.
new artists?
But I'm saying
this
that-
is
that-
6ix9ine right now.
Yay, you got it
around
right.
long enough.
Dog, y'all had...
Fuck,
I've been
Jesus
around
Christ.
Those
long
kids don't
enough
care.
to know.
Alright.
I agree with you, but I disagree.
Choose Civic.
Yes, those kids don't care, but only when it's true to an extent. Like, they don't. Let me figure out how to say what I'm trying to say, because we've seen this a bunch. We've seen this with quite a few rappers to come in with street cred and then some type of way lose the backing that they had. Middle America loves street shit if it's real.
But not too
I
real.
disagree.
Middle
What do you
America,
think is real?
yeah, but normally that comes from remnants of it being real. When the Middle America fell in love with Jeezy and BMF, it was real. Listen, it's a million rappers that.
Can I cut you off real quick?
Go ahead.
The Jeezy thing, no one in Middle America knew who BMF was. They knew who Young Jeezy was. No one in Middle America knew who Supreme was. They knew who 50 was.
Yeah, but
They loved the music. They loved the songs.
Word.
They didn't give a fuck where they was coming from.
yeah, but you get the imagery, you get the certain
Yeah,
content in the lyrics. You
Dog,
get.
y'all
He's
listen,
still over here.
that shit sounds good to them, and that's a cool image to me. I don't give a fuck where it comes
Okay,
from.
so let's
But
fast
the
track
image is
this.
gone if he's on an island by himself.
Let's
Alright,
fast
so
track
not at
it.
war with
I think
Your point is that Tekashi can have a sustainable career when he comes out with the same tough guy image.
Let me not say sustainable, because I'm not sure what he's gonna do after he snitches.
I think
Whether he goes into witness protection, because he probably needs that. If somehow he finds a way to put out music, I think if you put the right way,
Putting out
him
music
saying
in witness protection,
That's
that's
fucking
fucking
insane.
insane.
Rory, that's why your
You can't put out no
point is
music
all over the
in
place.
instant-
You
in
can't
witness
tell me he's
protection.
gonna have any type of
Sammy
career.
the Bull lived his whole life in Arizona, said, I'm Sammy the fucking Bull, did all this bullshit,
Sammy
nobody
the
killed
Bull
him.
is not spitting a 16, Rory.
Yeah, no.
Lived his whole life.
We're talking about
No,
rapping.
It's not
Rory.
will live his life, but he will not put out
No,
music. and
he
be
lived his
active
life in the open.
No.
High profile cases. It's a fair comparison to some degree.
No, it's not. Keep this argument where it is and stop dancing. We're
Who's
talking.
dancing? My feet up are
Snitch sustaining his career once he comes out. Not a snitch living his life.
Word.
We're talking about Tekashi and how successful his career could be with
I'm saying it.
and by your own admittance, that does include witness protection.
Of course.
So your argument is saying how it could be done. So walk us through it.
No, I said in the event that he finds a way to put out music, I think if he finds the right 808 and says, yeah, I snitch, but fuck them, the kids are gonna, those kids, not us, not y'all and y'all morals.
But how long?
I think his fan base is going to rock with that and sing that along and say, yeah, I snitched on them,
For
fuck them.
how long?
As long as the music's good.
Rory, fuck no, man.
I don't see how.
He
Rory
can't
believes
put that out.
Yeah.
He can't put out, I snitched on them, fuck that. No, that can't happen. First of all,
You guys are
Hey, first of
completely
all-
misunderstanding the
Hey.
demographic he's talking to.
Hey,
And it ain't to y'all.
Wait, let me make
Can't put
myself
that out.
before y'all even continue.
These kids don't give a fuck.
Let me just make my stance clear before y'all continue, because I won't even delve my brain into that. In my brain, no matter what happens, he show his face out here, he start putting music out, they gonna light his fucking ass up.
Tekashi 6ix9ine has never come to New York City in his life. Once this trial is over, he would never be in New York
I
City in his
don't
life.
think they're only trying to light him up in New York City.
yeah, he had a lot of problems all over.
This is not a New York
Well,
City.
and the people that were protecting him are no longer
That's the
protecting
point of witness protection, guys.
So tell me how he can put out music and witness protection successfully.
You're completely changing the. All right, you just made an entire new point out of nowhere.
Nah,
That's
I'll
what
let
you do best.
I'll let you.
I said in the event that he can put out music, these kids won't give a
Where you
fuck
come from, you
if he
bitch?
snitched.
Nah,
That was my only point. You made a whole new argument because that's what you do.
They will.
But
They will.
I think they will.
They'll kill.
you think,
Okay.
all right, y'all have this generation all the
No,
way
they will
fucked up.
care.
They don't give
Snitching
a
is
fuck.
something that is still handed
you.
down to other generations, though. Like people, young kids care about their friends telling
Middle
them.
America white kids give a fuck because that was his real demographic.
Hold up. So Rory, give me.
So that was his real demographic.
You got a holy site
an
here.
example of the other rapper where something similar has happened.
It's never happened.
He's had a
But this
successful-
generation there's never been a bunch of Middle America kids that didn't give a fuck about snitching and only like people that have tattooed faces and rainbow hair.
Okay, this
It's
is
a whole new world, guys.
Yeah, but Middle America has always been fascinated with what's going on in the cities.
But wait,
Damn,
y'all
I got
keep
a
talking
lot
about
of-
Fascinated with that.
But we keep talking about Middle of America. This kid numbers wasn't that crazy. Let's slow this down here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He was doing what, 110?
Yeah.
And guess who was buying it? I'm talking specific to his fan base, not 110.
So tell me,
It ain't the hood.
So tell me,
It's not the
so
hood.
let's stay on math. I'm with you. Tell me what percentage of that, the
Oh, you
110,
decline, you motherfucker?
is still supporting him in his new circumstance if he finds a way to release music.
60%.
Alright, fuck you.
I don't think so.
Never.
Yeah. Now shout out Kuda
Never.
B.
And we shall
The
see.
kid they snitched on.
Alright.
Kuda B is a very talented kid, man.
I'm all by myself,
I
man.
hope that
He
works
has a
out for
really.
that gentleman.
I mixed like half of his album that was supposed to come out.
I don't think
know
that
what's
I'm
going
by
on.
kid
myself.
can come home, show his face, spit him
So,
out.
course not.
what
No,
do
I
I
don't
need?
think he can say where he is. I don't
My
think
only
got
argument
my
was in the
Yeah.
event that he
can't
makes
say
music.
he can't say a family member. Like I think he's
Oh
handicapped
shit, they're all
in
around
many,
here.
many ways.
Fucking cockroaches.
And if I'm watching what's going on between Ack and his baby moms, like there's a lot wrong in this equation.
Yeah.
There's a
There was a
lot.
lot wrong 2 years ago.
Yeah.
There's more wrong now.
There's a lot more wrong now. Like I would. What is he coming home to?
Oh, listen to this one.
Nothing.
Like
He has to change his entire life.
Whatever home that clout chasing chick name. Well, I don't know her name, and I'm not saying her name. But you seen that post she did on Valentine's Day? I always knew you was a rat ass nigga because you always knew the right things to say.
Oh yeah.
That's a bar.
Yeah, she put a bunch of like crying emojis, like,
Dream Doll say that?
laughing emojis.
Okay.
This is fucked up because like here's a kid, a young kid who has to change his entire life. Like his entire world has to change.
Alright, cool.
Who?
I have no choice.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at this as so
Oh, where's my
empathetic toward him, the kid that had nothing to do with the streets, that got himself involved with the streets because it was making him some money, and now everybody is fucking jammed up. But
No,
you?
but that's
I'm not. I got no sympathy.
I don't have sympathy for. I have sympathy with the fact that he was chasing something and didn't understand how real the consequences of that lifestyle were.
That's fair.
I have never seen.
That's what
I know a lot of people say that, and honestly, I think in the last year, I think he was pretty controlling in what he was doing.
No, I don't think so. I think he was just so fixed on keeping that image and doing whatever.
That's what I'm saying. I think he knew what he was doing.
He's trying to get it popping.
Yeah, but he didn't expect the feds to kick his door down and all of that shit. He did not expect.
I think that Breakfast Club interview, like 3 days before he got
Spread,
indicted, when he was he
motherfucker.
kept bringing up the feds. I think it finally hit him that all right, this shit.
Oh no, at that point he knew
where
that
did
they
they
were
go?
coming. Yeah. But that's already it's too late now. They got their case. But he was trying to maintain a lifestyle and he was trying to maintain an image, and I don't think that he knew the ramifications of the dark side of that image. It's like, that's real.
I think it's fucked up that we get to keep saying that about him, and you might be right, Maul.
He's only what, 20 what?
You might be right.
22.
You
Yeah,
might
like,
be
you
all the way right.
is
But I've watched him for a
builder?
year. Shit, even this new report says he got a discount on the Chief keeps shooting. So man, he ain't just exempt.
No, he's not exempt.
But he gets to be exempt. We get to say,
Man, got
we
them
get to
fucking
say,
builders?
he was only how old was he? I don't think
swear
he
there
knew
was
the
one down here.
ramifications. He's the only nigga that's coming home.
Okay, so what you just
Pointing
said,
at a bunch of niggas who protected him.
Yeah.
But you
fucked up.
But you gotta remember one thing though, Joe. There's no.
I hate when niggas use the streets, man.
Come on.
Oh
I
yeah,
hate when niggas use the streets.
That's a more than when hip hop uses
So I
streets.
think you just kind of proved my point in saying that I don't think
Goodbye.
his core fan base of those kids that not really from the street are gonna care. People are already giving him sympathy.
Get plastics from you?
No, I'm not giving him no sympathy.
I know you're not saying that, but people are giving him sympathy. Like, he didn't know he was just trying to chase, he was trying to find friends. Like, people are already shooting him down.
I don't equate
no pun intended.
I don't equate him getting sympathy to people supporting his music career.
I guess my only point here is that I don't think his generation of kids gives a fuck if somebody snitch. I think it's the wild, wild west out there, whether it be the street kids or just the suburban kids.
Nobody listened to this nigga until he was next to Shotty.
You know, God.
So now I'm supposed to believe that he could come out and get it popping on his own? I don't.
Where's she at?
I don't. That little Mexican nigga was trying and busting his ass and fucking failing, like Park said, like all the rest of them little funny looking niggas putting tattoos on their face and dyeing their fucking head. Great. He was failing.
And not to say, like, his music was not exceptional. It was not exceptional.
His music hit.
I like his music. I like his. No, listen.
That's just gonna be my
I like his music, but I'm not saying that he. I'm just saying that he doesn't.
Was it exceptional to you? You keep saying to y'all. Was it exceptional to you?
No.
Then don't say to us. It's you too.
To the people he was talking to. Yes, that was they shit.
But there's 1,000 other 6ix9ines
that are trying to be him.
That will be him while he's.
Okay, before that, there wasn't a million 6ix9ines. There wasn't a million 6ix9ines when he was coming up. There wasn't. And don't even sit here and say there was.
Said there wasn't what?
Well, I don't even know. All right.
There wasn't a what?
Parks is saying that there's a bunch of kids with tattoos, faces, doing all that shit. I'm saying at that time, there wasn't. Like, you could say he was next to Shotty and all that.
Yes, there was. They just wasn't next to Shotty. They was. They just wasn't next to a nigga that redacted. I'm not saying nothing else. Yeah. They didn't have that.
And you think that mattered to the kids on YouTube?
I think that has been the rap rollout plan since '86.
Yeah. And I'm saying who it matters to.
That's 70-something, but that's before my time. That has been, that is the rap rollout.
And I'm not disagreeing. That goes back to the 50 thing. These people didn't know the real inner workings. Yo, he got shot 9 times. I heard this and that. They didn't care. They just heard that. They didn't know who he was behind or what happened with him.
Yeah, but when you have people putting money into the promotion and the streets backing you,
and that's great. That's great and all. 6ix9ine is 6ix9ine.
That's why Cardi can't lose right this second. That's exactly why. Because it's too late. It's too late. The money is there now. Whatever they want it to look like, my nigga, it's about to look like.
And that's what 6ix9ine is the same thing now. No. Granted, everything is going to depend on if he can put out music. I don't think he'll put it out, but we're doing the hypothetical of if he could. He still has that buzz. This trial is going to go nuts if it even hits trial. It's going to be the biggest shit in the world. He's going to be huge if he can put out music.
Rory, no, it's not. We all know what's happening at the trial. He's singing. But there's no suspense to this.
So
there is no suspense, Rory. You're wrong. Nobody's waiting.
So you don't think no one's gonna watch this trial?
Everybody over here?
You think everyone?
It's not the OJ case. We know what's happening. We're not waiting for anything.
No one is glued to this trial.
No, I don't glue.
Oh, y'all are fucking bugging.
Well, I'm not gonna say no one, but I don't think as many people as you think are.
I'm not saying no.
Should I word this differently?
I'm wording it the way I want.
His demographic don't give a fuck about snitching. They don't.
Nah, I don't think so.
We'll see.
They don't. These kids don't give a shit.
We'll see. There's no way.
I was a kid at one point, and I cared about snitching.
Yeah, we don't need to go.
You wasn't a kid in 2019.
I cared more then than I do now.
But wait, I'm not even arguing against Rory. What I'm saying is, even if you're right, Homeboy fan base was not big enough to go through this. So even if you're right, I don't think that 110 turns to 70. I think it turns into 30, 20, and shrinks, if that. Like, I'm being generous. That's what I'm saying.
Shit, 20 for Wicco. It's not too bad.
And the nigga had no idea what he was doing when he was next to the killers. Tell me how it works. Like, even if you're right, Rory, let's say you come out with 3 smashes. It don't matter if your business is bad. This kid is fucked up. I don't think it's like, I think we're waiting for Bobby Shmurda to come home.
Of course we are.
I think we were waiting for Remy to come home. I think there's been people we've been waiting this. We've been wanting to hear.
I am not in no way comparing 6ix9ine to those 2 people.
But what I'm saying is, if I don't know when the person's coming home, they say 2 years, even if it's 3 years. 4 years. He went in.
He will be embraced.
He went in respectable.
More than embraced.
He's coming out a certain way. Shine went in a certain way. Like, how you go in, it matters in how you come out. And how he's going in, for you not to have an example of another rapper that has successfully done it.
That should let you know that it can't be.
You stand firm in this shit, Rory. That's all.
Because I'm saying there's never been a generation of rap fans that just don't care at all about anything.
And here's my.
Like, there's never been, like, when Shine went away, he would be coming back to rap fans that held something to a certain integrity. These kids don't, all I'm getting at is these kids don't give a single fuck. If that shit bang, that shit bang. I don't care what happens.
All right, let's do predictions. Let's stop arguing.
We can't predict it because he's not going to put out music. This was hypothetical.
I'm saying, that
motherfucker's going to witness protection. We're never going to hear from him again.
That's a prediction. So let's do predictions.
Okay, that's my prediction.
Say it again.
He'll go to witness protection, and we will not hear from him musically, period. Someone might catch him because he's easy to catch.
So you did all that arguing.
It was hypothetical.
Okay.
I love Roy.
That's him.
That's
Who
good.
the fuck is this?
Good.
All that argument for him, I agree with your final take. I think that he will be in witness protection, and we will never hear. We not even gonna get what's Shine Low over the phone album that you love.
Fam, don't do that. Godfather Buried Alive, don't even do that.
We not getting that. We not getting Tekashi and Buried Alive over the phone.
No.
We get a Max B album before we get a fucking Tekashi album.
So that's
Free Max B.
A Max, another niggas is waiting for because of how he went in.
Different era he went in.
Where
Nigga went in yesterday. He went in
those two,
whenever.
and then
What was you talking about?
plastics.
2010? Somewhere around there.
Different era.
you need these orders.
different circumstances.
Salute to Max too, by the way.
Yeah.
I leave you here.
Yeah, word. And Smurder and Rowdy.
Man, I can't wait for Smurder and Rowdy to come
Fuck,
back.
who do I want to attack?
Okay, so speaking of Smurder, let's talk about Goldlink for a minute. I saw CC, the CC show interview, Sheck West.
Yeah.
Shout out to CC. When all that
I'm gonna get
Justin
my goddamn
Sheck
boat over
West
here
shit was
anytime
going on,
soon.
and Sheck is adamant about denying anything that Justine says happened, right? Cool. All of that's fine. Minding my business. Domestic issues have nothing to do with me.
So he's
I wasn't here, I don't know. But I recently learned that Goldlink's uncle is Wayne Perry, which makes me view this story of Sheck West and his people hopping out of a car and beating the shit out of Goldlink while he was with Justine Skye. It makes me view it a tad bit differently.
Wait, that happened?
Allegedly.
That is Justine's account, allegedly. That she was walking with
attacked.
her.
No one got
She was
beat up.
walking with her man. Well, how do you get attacked and not get beat up?
You can attack and not get beat up.
Yeah, you can.
Definitely
You
could.
can win.
Someone can attack you and then you can win.
Oh, that's a poor attack.
That is a poor
It's
attack.
happened.
Fam,
Can't exactly
fam,
happen.
if I win the attack,
Yeah,
you are a trash attacker.
Oh, wow.
I agree.
Yeah. But yeah,
Get
that's
some
that's
shit
that's
out
the
of
whole
it?
story. She was
Oh,
walking
yeah,
in the
I'll
park
accept
with her
that
man,
deal.
Goldlink.
Walking in the park.
Yeah, that's when the attack happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely walking in the
Where
park.
else are
It was
people
hand in
attacked?
hand at Grammys in the park.
But where else are people attacked on?
Oh, this happened at the Grammys.
It was
In the park.
And the story is that,
in Los Angeles Park.
Sheck West
Just one park.
was in a car, seen sent his goons over there to, I don't fucking know,
Oh, I
man.
completed a
I'm
power
too old for
plant,
this
did I?
shit.
Okay.
But that's the story. And then I learned that Goldlink's uncle is Wayne Perry. You know who Wayne Perry is?
I do know who Wayne Perry is, yes.
Me too.
Very
Ooh.
well.
Me too.
Anybody else?
Yes, I'm aware of who Wayne Perry
Savon
is.
doesn't know who Wayne Perry is.
Just don't.
But that's why you're not the Don.
Yeah.
You can be the Don and don't know the other Dons.
Do your Google.
He would be a Don.
Yeah, he's a Don before he's a Don. Why would somebody do that to someone related to Wayne Perry? Allegedly.
Maybe not knowing.
Maybe Sheck didn't know, yeah. Maybe, or wherever the alleged attackers were, maybe.
Well,
Tank.
and that's kind of where I'm going with this. To a point Rory was trying to make earlier. I now feel like we need a Yellow Pages, some type of encyclopedia distributed amongst the culture to make people aware
Everybody's
of the
finishing
people that
production.
sing songs that might make people think that
Submarine,
they're soft,
hell yeah.
that happen to be related to people that no one in the world would ever think is soft. I don't want to ever make that mistake of talking about someone with a soft song related to a murderer.
But this is real simple though.
But not even
this
a
is
murderer,
why you
like
don't.
a hitman. Like that's different.
Yeah, but
a murderer and a hitman is different.
Yeah.
But this is why you give everybody
In
that
DC,
respect.
For a career.
in DC in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why you give everybody that respect before you even if
That's
you
true.
don't know.
Exactly.
That's true.
Because you don't know.
You
It
never
could
know.
be.
That's my problem with Rory's generation, Mom. They don't give everybody the respect.
That's fair. I'll own that for my generation.
Yeah, there we go, Rory.
Yeah, my generation definitely doesn't do their research of just people in general.
Promotion.
You'll try to get in a bar fight, and that guy's a UFC fighter.
Yeah, no.
No way
I've seen that.
No way that Jack West was aware of this.
Probably not.
And I've never really heard Gold Link.
Oh,
I was
word?
aware of that, but I didn't ever heard him say it.
So we
Like,
converted
I just
him.
knew that from people that I know that are from Maryland and the DC area.
Yeah, but
Well, I mean,
I hear
for his sake, you know, go. Maybe he doesn't want to wave that flag around.
Yeah.
Because that's not,
Nah,
you know, that's not something you should want to be, you know, no disrespect, but you should be proud of and waving around. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you could be proud of your uncle, but it's not something you go in an interview and be like, "Yo."
yeah, but I mean, yeah, but it's still your uncle is, you know,
God damn, I'm making mad
locked away for
gold.
doing crimes that they convicted him of. That
Words.
you don't want to be proud of that. I mean, you don't necessarily want to
I
wave
need
that
some
flag
motherfucking
around.
commercial
I mean, it's
districts.
his uncle, he still loves him regardless of, you know, how his life turned out. But
Harbors.
you know, Shaq probably, I mean, Golding probably feels like a lot of people would be afraid of doing business with him because of that.
That's
You
my
never know,
next
so you don't
focus.
want to wave that flag around. But
That's a good point.
you know what I mean? So, I mean, listen, man, deeper than that, it's just this whole situation is becoming very interesting very fast.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea that this even happened. So this is news to me.
Yeah, don't hit women.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
Like, that fixes all of this.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
fam, you shouldn't put your hands on women.
Just glad Joe changed his tone on Gold Link, because me and Mo have been trying to tell Joe that he's a great artist.
Yeah, Joe was kind of
Joe denied it.
No, he didn't deny it. Joe just throw jabs at the
But I'm
the
still
dudes
not.
that sing.
I don't know Gold Link to be a great artist, but that's not to knock him. I don't know enough about him.
Yeah,
You didn't hear his project?
I haven't heard enough songs.
No.
Yeah,
You would enjoy his
You would like it a lot. You would. You definitely would.
I just
That's what we were trying to tell you when
Yeah.
I think when
I
we played
played,
Crew, like how many years ago
Yeah.
was it?
Crew
like,
is
no,
I see money on the ground.
but you would fuck with that whole project.
See that hook. He tricked me, man.
That's Brent. Well, that's Brent Faireyes on the hook.
Yeah,
That's why.
Yeah, but who wrote the hook?
Brent.
It's a Gold Link song, right?
Yes.
That hook don't say Wayne Perry's my uncle.
No, that
Well,
definitely doesn't.
That's not
see
him saying the
money
hook.
all around me. I feel like I'm the man. No, no, you was the man already.
Right before this.
Yeah, nigga, you ain't never had to write this song.
Right.
You could have been broke.
Yeah.
We would have just gave you all the money.
Yeah,
I hear that song totally different now. Hey, Gold Link, man, friend of the show. You want to come through?
Yeah,
Kick it about your new project,
Yeah.
man. Hey, our doors are open to you.
No, our doors are your doors.
No,
Yeah.
actually, where we will come to
I was
you.
about to say, we'll come to you.
Your door is the door we will come through.
Absolutely.
We don't need a door with you.
Absolutely.
And tell your uncle hello.
Yeah. Right, blessings.
Blessings.
Blessings. Gotta send blessings.
For sure.
Wayne Perry, for sure.
See, I need Rory's generation to fucking kick it up on Big Sean, man. Where's the Big Sean project? I can't hear. Why can't I hear the word blessings without thinking of Big Sean now?
Blessings.
See, I don't understand why you're not have more admiration for everything that Sean has been doing through all this bullshit. So much bullshit. Everything with good music, with his exes, like the fact that he's just laid low and let everything blow over, and him just put a project out. I think that would be a you type of move. A new you.
I view that
Not
totally. I view
That would not be
totally
Joe.
different.
A new
I
Joe.
view it totally different. I feel like Sean distanced himself from good music at the right fucking time. And I feel like he got a #1 record out of an ex. I don't feel like I look at it different how you look at it. I don't look at it like he's still hanging in there through. No, I feel like he opportuned his way through. That's my opinion of Sean.
Opportune is quite the opposite. I think he's doing the smart thing.
Well,
quiet.
Where's his single without Drake, nigga? How about that?
All right, if you think Sean needs a single with Drake, you have to go back in Sean's catalog.
I don't think that Drake said that.
Well, he's
Drake
speaking
said,
to Drake.
Drake said ain't no blessings without me.
Alright, cool.
Well, I ain't heard a peep from that nigga since. You defend it. I don't know.
Look at everything happening in his camp. I'd be quiet too. I would let the dust settle.
He's been out of that camp.
What the fuck?
Sean,
Contractually?
Yeah.
No, he hasn't.
I'm not.
That means you of all fucking
Rory,
people know how much that means.
Am I talking about contractually? No. He has distanced himself from good music, Rory. Respond to it. That's what I'm saying.
You of all people know
trade
what
route
that
to
contract
Labinka.
means when you're trying to put out music and everything that's going on within your label. You of all people should know that shit. Yeah, they're beefing with Drake. I may have some tiff with him. Y'all are going fucking nuts. My ex is wilding over here. I'm just gonna sit back and let y'all sort that shit out. And when I get my shit together, when you guys are now cool and not putting out all these bullshit projects, running around tweeting, figure that out.
Sean,
I'll get my album together and let that dust settle.
one thing about Big Sean though, and I'll
he
step
better
on the
smoke
ledge
a
of this.
nigga when he come back.
He's gonna put out a record that's gonna be incredible. He's gonna put out a dope fucking song.
The fuck don't I have any commercial hubs?
I have to ask to that. How do you not
I'm
see that?
slacking so
If your
hard.
label is in turmoil, why wouldn't you just play the back and let all the dust settle?
But when you keep saying, I disagree when you keep saying your label's in turmoil. Everybody on Def Jam has been constantly releasing.
He's not good though, right?
Good and Def Jam.
Def Jam.
Yeah, but good.
Wait, are you saying it's
Yeah,
you're
good.
saying it's a good time right now to put out music on Def Jam?
I'm saying,
You're being a real hypocrite right now if you say that.
I'm saying everybody on Def Jam has been putting out projects, with the exception of Big Sean. So I'm not talking. I'm
2
not.
Chainz has.
Yes, he has. He's never stopped.
2 Chainz just put
Not
out
in between. Not in
He
between.
put out an EP.
Every Girls Love Trap, right?
He's
That was a
never.
year and a half ago.
He has never stopped.
When's the last time Sean put out?
That's the cycle.
Like a year and a half ago.
No way.
How long ago?
2 years,
It was 2
probably.
years?
Yeah, it was a little while.
That's all. Yeah, what?
So
Man, you
so
got
in the
it,
midst
man.
of Tiana's album
Fucking
getting
attack
fucked
me.
up, all that, Sean said, hey, guys, my album's ready to go.
Whoa!
No, fuck out of here. You're fucking everything up.
No.
You're not getting in the mix of none of this shit.
God damn
My
it.
album's gonna stand alone.
You keep saying that, but I didn't hear him wave the good music flag on 2 22/8 releases.
One.
One what?
Talk about the Janae project?
Yeah.
There was only one.
Really?
Yeah. Positive.
I didn't hear him wave.
A world without Raid?
I'm
Shut
doing
up.
It
the
isn't simply
album with my
seagulls
wife.
that
Not talking
Logan.
about it. It was also on Def
Oh,
Jam.
please, you just covered that nigga's name. Fuck it.
At the time, his wife.
Wife.
Are they still together?
No.
No.
I'm shutting up. because
In the
it sounds like I
beginning,
hate Big Sean.
legend.
It does.
Yeah.
You hate Big Sean.
You do. And I've been trying to figure out why.
I do hate
Because
Big
I used to really like
because you would respect everything he's doing right now if you didn't have a specific
He
hate for him.
ain't doing it.
He's doing the smart thing.
But you hate Big Sean for like the craziest reason in the world.
Yeah, what is the
But
reason?
let's not get it.
I remember you
But
liking
let's slow down on that. My issue here is with Rory saying everything that Big Sean is doing. Big Sean is doing absolutely nothing.
Which is the smart thing to do.
Well, that's what he said.
Everything.
started to rush that album, you could hear the polishedness. You could hear the shift. You could hear the direction change. You could hear a lot of money being spent to the big time songwriters because it sounded a lot more polished than a Bodak Yellow. Right? Album came, it worked. Grammy, all types of shit now. Every Instagram post says Grammy nominated artist, and I feel like it might be a little dig to Nicki Minaj, but let me not do that. And here we are now. First record that comes out is Money. Joe Budden says that is a low quality record. Don't get that confused with bad record. Low quality doesn't mean bad. It means low quality. That whole anybody who's never written a rhyme that's tried to make a song has tried to make that song where you fill in the blank and the sample says something catchy and that's the chorus. Right. And then you make the chorus out of the catchy sample.
You hate.
No.
It is an old method.
I'm not hating.
Of course
because anybody that record worked, but that's not taken away from my point.
You talking about Money worked?
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah. And it worked because of what I said earlier.
The Grammys.
No, Atlantic was pumping money into that record.
Has it really worked? I haven't heard it out like that.
It's been out. Yeah, it has.
It has.
And it shocked me.
It worked, but it didn't do what it should have done.
Right.
It worked.
I don't think it did what they thought it was going to do. Let's say that. But it played a lot longer than I anticipated.
Right.
Like
the visual helped it a lot.
The Grammy, she killed the performance. She helped that record a lot. Yeah, she did that. But my point is, the record still sounds like Big Money Cardi. So I was waiting for the next record to see when you were going to be able to tap into that city girl energy that you gave them. Because you still have to be able to do that ratchet shit that people love you for. Yeah. But you have to do it for your shit. That city girl shit is fire. Right. I'm waiting for the Cardi record. Here she comes. Right after the Grammys. Same way I announced it. A podcast, I predicted all this shit, that she was coming right after the Grammys. So here she comes. I got a single coming. Me and Bruno. Bruno, who she couldn't go on tour with. She was real sad about it. The pregnancy interrupted a lot. So I'm sure she's super excited to have a record with Atlantic's top artists. They're two top artists. They're doing the right thing, putting them together. I'm waiting for the record. And boom. It's more...
What do you mean, file not found?
Polished.
Regular.
Fluff.
It's regular. It's a regular.
So, what confused me
is I'm going to buy a certain song.
Yeah.
It was Reggie. It's Reggie.
What confused me, to your point,
But
because if this was a Bruno Mars record that she featured on, I would get, all right, let's just keep the buzz going. But it says, I paid attention to the artist. That was really a note to me. Cardi B and Bruno Mars. It's not Bruno featuring Cardi. It's not Cardi featuring Bruno.
I don't put much stock into that because they're both.
I do a lot because I'm going to Joe's point and saying, yeah, you could do the feature shit to keep the buzz going. You Cardi, whatever, Grammys.
Right.
You still need to come with your record.
This is the first time.
This I think is a safety net when you do the Cardi B and Bruno Mars.
I agree with it's a safety net. Let me get my scathing hot take. This record is rushed. Bruno don't sound good.
Yeah, he is.
Like that's what lets me know something is off here.
Yeah, they ain't align his vocals.
Yeah. I want to hear mixed away. Whoever normally touches his shit, they ain't do that.
I want to hit Cardi with more of the top MCs.
We just heard it with me.
You say Rakim?
But we just heard it with me. I feel like there's another feature that we just heard. Oh, she's on the Blueface shit. Like she's not.
No.
Rakim.
He used the word MC. I'm saying like a record with Jay,
Cool G,
a record with Nas, a record with
I don't think she gets that yet.
You naming people that money don't get you that.
She just got best rap album of the year. How she don't get that?
Money don't get you that.
Accolades don't either.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, I would think that it's coming. You just got best rap album of the year.
Nah,
I would.
I don't think that comes.
I don't think Nas is rushing out to do a Cardi record or Hov.
Or M.
Yeah.
No, I can see I'm doing it.
And before them.
I don't think
mean, there's
No,
another.
him would do it.
There's another female rapper that has these features.
Yeah.
And I think she deserves
She
it.
doesn't have best rap album.
Okay, Nicki has a
Nicki deserved to be well
Nicki
at
has
that point.
features with Nas.
You don't think
Nicki
Cardi
has
deserves
features
it?
with
I mean, she
Hov.
just got the biggest award you can receive in music.
And that's where outside of you and our barb shit. Nicki earned all of those.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Absolutely.
Nicki earned all of those features. All good.
once he
I won't
attacks
say
him,
dominance, but
then
niggas
some good
respected
there.
what she was doing and how she was giving it up next to Wayne, who at the time was the best rapper in the world to a lot of people. And I ain't gonna lie, listen, let's keep it a buck. When niggas be in the studio writing shit sometimes, we got a song where we need a saucy bitch there. She was the saucy bitch. Like, and the only one.
Who is that now?
So
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if there's one of those yet.
I don't know. I don't look at Cardi as saucy
You know what I
bitch.
think is gonna be that, and I mean this in an extremely respectful way. I think Melly might get to that. Yo, we need like a real saucy bitch on this shit. And let me not use the word bitch,
Melly
but
is saucy.
Melly is dope.
That's toxic.
Yeah, it's hard. You said it 30 minutes
I'm
ago.
outraged.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, you just said it 30 minutes ago.
And let me just say, I looked up toxic, another word that y'all be using wrong.
But I think Melly has the talent. I think she has
So not
the
to keep
swagger of like, if I need that type
Next
of shit
turn.
on a record, Melly will kill that.
Swagger's on 100,000.
1,000 trillion, yeah, with the auto.
So not to keep going back to that. So the female rapper who won best rap album of the year is not saucy enough to get these features.
No,
Not a Jay and Nas, no.
That's very interesting. Okay.
No, a saucy
man,
feature.
Mom.
You think Jay and Nas looking for a saucy feature right now?
Everything
No, I'm
that
just saying
Cardi
it's
has
very
going
interesting
on,
that you win the highest award in music, and you're still not at a point to where you deserve certain features. To me, that it says a lot. That's all I'm saying. That's all. You got the highest award in music.
No, I think I get what Maul trying to say.
No, I'm naming. We have a conversation. So you're saying you have to be a saucy chick to stand the third. I get all of that.
I'm saying you gotta earn it.
Yeah.
I get all that. So you earn best rap album of the year.
Nah, but that's not
But you
necessarily.
don't earn a feature from.
That's not necessarily speaking to her.
Oh yeah.
Nas
I'm trying to see if I can buy
Nas ain't running to the stat.
Holy
to
sight.
the universe.
And if you talk about maybe their careers, yeah, maybe they would have collabed with
Well,
Cardi,
let's not
but
even
not when they
name any top MC. Most def ain't running over your accolades. Who else? Any top MC.
It's just something to think about.
Give me by your holy
Listen,
sight.
listen, I'm with you. I give Nicki
Or
all
fucking-
the credit in the world in that regard.
Right.
Holy sight or
I don't think
a
Nicki today could get
commercial
all those
love.
features.
I don't
Today.
either.
Today.
If we build a seaside resort, we may be able to benefit from this new attraction to the ocean.
I think Nicki
That
can
depends on how
feature
they're-
whatever she wants.
Depends how their relationship ended.
I'm just saying.
A world without radio
She probably
is
has
a
a
deaf
feature
world.
that's in a hard drive somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What's that song called? Back Again, Sleaze.
Relax.
I'm fine. Where's my phone? Okay, so T.I. and Floyd are back at it again.
With the gold 10 van.
Welcome back.
Did y'all hear T.I. this song?
I did.
I thought it was
I did.
I thought he was rapping over
Ten
Sweet's
right
Hangover
there.
at first, but it wasn't.
It was a good beat,
Yeah, it was.
I was ready for Ghostface to come on.
right?
Yeah.
Ghost would have
I
killed
think it
us.
was
So I can't get a
Can't rap
hardware.
nothing about what T.I. was talking.
Play this shit, Rory. Let's hear what T.I. was taking us.
I think this record is a product of strictly social media influence. I don't think that this record, T.I. does this record if social media wasn't such a big influence. Like if Floyd did
Or
this,
his wife.
yeah, Floyd did this.
His wife got a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah,
But do it matter why it's done?
yes, absolutely.
You think so?
It always matters why music is done.
You don't think it's hard?
I think it's a good record because T.I. can make it, but I think it's just like
To be a fuck nigga. Nigga only thinking about himself.
Bye, bitch.
To be a fuck nigga.
You think why he released guess it takes away from the words that he's saying.
You don't think he had little meat oodles and noodles flow on that? He had meat oodles and noodles flow on that? I'm not sure if it's meat flow. No, it's flow on that shit. You owe the generation after you, since they gon' live in the world that you made.
Alright, send us over. Is it this record?
Yes.
Why wouldn't it?
Flat out.
How that shit goes? It's not a diss song. It's a real song.
This is Lost Ones.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely Lost.
He just talking. He just talking.
This is the beef that'll never
fuck
end.
around.
Yeah, this is a lot of personal sauce on this.
Yeah, like I don't really know what to say. It's so
yeah.
personal between them.
Yeah.
And I don't know. T.I. and Floyd both make pretty good arguments, even if Floyd isn't the one who wrote his argument.
I don't think so. I don't think Floyd's argument was very good at all.
You don't think so?
No.
Why? Tell me more.
So.
So what, his Instagram post?
Yeah, his main argument was what y'all
damn,
buy
son.
clothes and do drugs and promote it in music, and so now I can go out and act like a dickhead. That's not a fucking argument.
I'm kind of with Parks. It was a very surfaced.
Like, oh, you're doing a bunch of shitty things. I'm gonna do some shitty things too. Fuck it.
It was down to the point. It was down to the point that it was like, all right, do you know what they're doing down with the oil companies? Like, it's just so like, how far in the rabbit hole we want to take this?
Yeah. I'm sorry, no.
I mean, deeper than all.
And that doesn't excuse you from standing outside of a Gucci store acting like a fucking idiot.
I mean, y'all know how I feel about Floyd. I never looked to Floyd
much does the
to
builder
be
cost?
an example. Period. He's self-centered. He's like, it's all about him, and if not, he wants to make it about himself. So I mean, I don't look to him to be with the people on anything. Like, you know what I mean? That's just me. It is. So I didn't. When that clip came out of him going in the Gucci store, it was just like whatever. I didn't give a fuck. But I just don't think that what he said. I understand what he posted in terms of people do jump behind things for the moment. Because he was saying, why boycott it for 3 months? Like, what is that going to do? It's going to do something. Yeah. If a company loses money for 3 months, some changes will happen.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't know it was a 3-month boycott.
Well, that's what they were saying.
Well, that's what T.I. said.
Yeah.
Okay.
T.I. said, let's boycott for 3 months.
Right. So, I mean, I think change can come. Because once companies start to see that they're losing money, they will make necessary changes.
Yeah.
But my thing with Floyd is he doesn't care because he feels like this doesn't directly affect him in his life.
Right.
So he doesn't give a fuck. And this is what T.I. is saying. Like, yeah, but you should give a fuck because you're one of us. Like, you're from us. You're from our culture. You're from, like, we support you. Yeah. So you should support the people and whatever they're fighting for and whatever affects the people. You should be behind them.
What do you think about Floyd saying that that T.I. only takes this stance because his career isn't as hot as it once was?
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Floyd's career is not as hot as it once was.
True.
And I think T.I. definitely has the background of, even when his shit was popping, was still helping out with the community.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is a new T.I. thing.
Yeah, this isn't something that he's just
It's like,
trying.
yo, my shit is failing, so let me try to get in the community.
I'm not sure that
T.I. has a
is
whole
failing.
resume.
Yeah,
as well.
No,
that's
not failing.
But that's the stigma that comes with when somebody's not in front of the camera every day.
All the time.
But he's in front of the camera.
No, man, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, they're not out and like, people not talking about them as much. People think, oh, he's not doing well.
Right.
No, he's just doing other things behind the scene that doesn't call for him to be out front all the time.
Right.
But, you know, again, that was just a stupid jab that, you know.
I think, like I said, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, what I said last week anyway. Putting yourself against shitty human behavior does not excuse your shitty human behavior.
Right. I agree.
And the sentence. And the fucking... That's it. Sorry,
take him
Floyd.
off of here.
Damn.
Don't be sorry, Floyd. Fucking be sorry, Floyd. Fuck Floyd.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck.
I'm not going to say fuck Floyd because he could beat me up.
Fuck Floyd. I'll say it.
Beat them all up, too.
Fuck Floyd.
But no, I mean, his Ghost Rider did their thing to try to, you know, revamp that horrible clip.
I get it. And
what I was getting from the Ghost Rider is, you niggas is fickle, man. Like, that's all I got from it.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, people are fickle. I agree with that 1,000%.
That's human.
But I also agree that when people get behind a cause and it's for the better of people, like when people were slighted or people with something wrong done and people want to make it, and support it.
I don't care if it's
even if it's fickle. It's like, I get it. I see why my people would feel a way about that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna support my people and what they're standing for right now. I'll support it.
I said that before the podcast.
Because here's my thing: Floyd could have went in any store.
Right.
That's why he made this. It was a selfish thing because Floyd can go in any store in the world
and not stop in front of a camera.
Or he could have went Gucci and not stop in front of the camera. You could have not been so
arrogant
nasty about it.
That's my thing.
Like, yeah,
arrogance.
I don't give a fuck what y'all doing. I like Gucci, so I'm going in Gucci. My lifestyle will not change.
Everybody has had something Gucci at some point, maybe in their life, right? I mean, not much, Levi's, but what I'm saying is, like,
see the red ones yet.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
he's saving those for tour.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, we all like, who doesn't like Gucci? Cool, but it's like, if it's at this moment, if this is what's something happened, this company made this mistake, or some people say it's not a mistake, it's blatant, but whatever. If the people are like, listen, we're not fucking with them right now, we're not fucking with them right now, period. Yeah. Go in Louis, go in Fendi, go in Hermes.
They're all owned by the same company, but even still.
Possibly, yeah, some of them are.
Yeah.
But it's like, my thing for Floyd to do that was blatantly saying, man, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I have with it.
Niggas don't want to lose, you know what I mean?
What is he losing? Word.
The drip.
There's plenty of drip in the world.
I'm just joking.
Yeah. I can't speak for who he has relationships with, but I mean, when it comes to, like, Steve Harvey, for instance, with the Steve Harvey and Monique shit, Steve Harvey for quite some time has told us, yo, fam, I'm not trying to lose my good white people paying jobs.
Yep.
Like, every time we see him with black people, he tells us that.
Yep.
So, we know where he stands.
Yeah.
And that's nasty, too.
I mean, but you know, the thing about that Steve Harvey thing is, he's made that stance years ago, and he's stood true to it. So there is something. It's still nasty, but at least you can kind of say he told us that that's how he give it up. Like, he's not trying to jeopardize.
Who he was.
Yeah, we're not trying to when somebody tell you who they are, when they act like who they told you they were, you can't be mad at them. It's like, yeah, he told us that's how he give it up. So it's like, all right, cool. I still don't fuck with you, but you didn't lie to me. You told me that's how you give it. Get down. I'm not jeopardizing my job, but to me, it's just sad because it's like, you'll always be a worker.
I didn't realize he had a history of that sentiment.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But because he's a comedian, you take it as jokes and
in the past.
Yeah, but it's like,
when you say it at every event.
In this particular conversation, I was taking it as I wasn't sure what her integrity was. So
she had bigger balls than he did.
Yeah. Well, that's why the conversation.
That's the crazy part. She got bigger nuts than Steve.
That's why the conversation is wrong, because when it comes to money versus integrity, the integrity side of that argument knows what's at stake. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what you must sacrifice, and you're willing to do so, which is why it's integrity.
Right. Exactly.
So I feel like I didn't understand I know what Steve was trying to say to her, but I don't really think he got it for real. Like, he didn't sound like he got it. And I guess that's the sad part, to hear from so many of our brothers in very prominent positions who just don't sound like they get it.
Right.
Because he's an articulate person, so you think that he would, like, I don't think he misspoke.
And he comes from the ghetto. You know, he comes from that. So it's not like Steve Harvey wasn't born with, the greatest of opportunities. Like,
Steve Harvey is at $70 million a year, telling me that if he crumbles, his whole lineage crumbles. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily true at $70 million a year.
Yeah, you can keep one of those years. We'll hold you down for a couple generations.
Yeah,
but my thing is,
it's like when Sprewell was telling us he needed to feed his family.
Yeah, but my thing is, you should work yourself into a position to where you're not saying, oh, if I crumble. You know what I mean? Like, become a boss. Like, create empires and do shit like, to where...
Guru tweeted, you can make money and keep your integrity.
You absolutely can.
That's another thing.
You absolutely can.
It was such a very simple idea.
That's another way
people have done it.
The question then turns to, hey, my nigga,
place to build.
Where do you want to get your money?
Right.
Where do you want to get
I need airplane shit.
The army is getting it from, you know already. Like, we don't have to say. Hov is getting to the bag. I don't feel like he's stopping his integrity. I feel like whatever I'm doing is only on the strength of integrity. Like, there's a bunch of people I feel like is doing what they're doing on this and still moving with integrity. I don't feel like you have to necessarily sell out to get a certain dollar, you know.
And I think Steve Harvey is highly intelligent and knows that. That's why I think this shit is even weirder. Like, I think he knows he could get money by himself.
Absolutely.
With integrity.
Man,
and still is like, well, I guess I'll just stay over here.
If he's in fact making $70 million a year,
he knows how to
fall back.
Yeah, he knows how to.
70 is
he's been at this for a very long
70
time.
is the low end. Like, some reports got him at a buck 20. At a buck 20, fam, you can stand with me.
Yeah.
Because he's been doing this for like 10 or 15 years.
You can tell a little bit of the truth.
Right.
Yeah. You really trying to get to a buck 40?
Yeah.
Deep.
Clearly.
But that's also my point to Maul. If Maul makes 140 million next year, he's tricking.
Where am I?
He's giving a bitch a stack.
She can't get a stack if you got 140 million.
Hey, Ma,
you're gonna run out of things to do with it.
Hey, Ma, do me a favor.
Here.
Walk 10 feet away from me and just keep spinning around until I say stop.
Yeah, stack.
No, I got stack for you. Maul is doing shit like that. Come on, it's fun. Knock it off.
I would do that. I would do that to the woman that I know. Like, I'm not doing
why
that.
Why you treat her that way?
Should do it for
Whatever.
free.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's why it wouldn't even matter. I'm talking about tricking when dudes know that this girl would never talk to you, never give you the time of day if you were not paying.
I think with 105 million, that's not gonna matter to you.
Shit. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, with 120 million, you're gonna
we just spoke about integrity, right?
But I don't think that's integrity.
That is
I think
integrity.
that comes from boredom. If I have 120 million dollars,
There's the word.
No.
Boredom.
Yes. If I have 120 of them all,
Yeah.
Word.
I'm gonna think of new creative ways to eliminate boredom. I'm telling you, I am.
Yeah, but tricking is not one of them. I'm sorry. Like, I'm definitely never handing a woman money for sex.
We can't really have this talk here because I'm gonna get judged.
Why? Have it. Living your truth, King. Living your truth.
That's true.
I wish.
We can't be ourselves.
I feel it.
All right, what else is really important? So, I don't need to ask y'all where we stand on money versus integrity.
Yeah, I think we covered that one.
Yeah. Monique should have did something else. Like,
Speaking of integrity,
Monique should have slapped that dude.
no, like, go on. You gotta get that toward yourself. Like, you can't appear to be as stable as she is without some type of resolve. Is all. Like, it's been years and there's no resolve. It's just Monique, Lee Daniels, Will Packer, fucking Oprah, Eve Faber.
that's what it is.
Fucking
Colin Kaepernick, his integrity. Got the bag.
I've seen people say the opposite. I disagree.
I completely disagree.
Yeah, I think, go get your money, bro. I'm sure he's gonna do good, if not great.
It's against the law what you did.
Yeah.
Give me my money.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
I would just like him to play again. I mean, I know he got his money, great, but his passion is football.
Yeah, he's still young, so
I mean, passions rearranged whether we like it or not.
that's true. His new passion is social
Yeah.
justice, and
Something's
might be better
something's
served.
happened in your life, and you have a new passion. whether you
I
like
think
it or
I
not.
think he's learned so much about.
Your new passion gets rid of your old passion.
yeah, it can.
It can overpower it.
Hi.
Where I care more about this passion.
But
comes-
you
becomes
to
more
a guy
important.
named Joe Budden.
Yeah, right.
Becomes more important.
Your passion is rap.
His passion was rap.
I see what y'all are doing.
Niggas' passion only be what pays the bills.
But that's still my
Yo, when you become an adult,
Yeah, that's all your passion really is. Like, yo, what's paying the bills the most?
Fact.
like, is podcasting our passion?
Yo.
Because tomorrow, if I know how to make money off of just playing with the yo-yo, I'm the most passionate nigga in the world when it comes to the yo-yo tomorrow. I'm letting y'all know right now.
You a yo-yo.
I'm just letting y'all know where I'm at with it. Like, yo, the yo-yo? Oh, yeah, let's get this back.
Yo, I've been doing the yo-yo shit since I was a kid. Like,
But wait, there's no
Got history?
There's no let's get this bag on a yo-yo.
You don't know.
It's one person.
You don't know.
What I'm saying is, the yo-yo is one person.
You need a band.
Nah, there was a couple yo-yos.
Yeah.
When yo-yos was hitting, there was a couple.
You need a guy with a string, like, you
There's
need
no
to get it.
dual yo-yo.
No, but
You know,
you don't know that.
let's create it.
Yeah. Now you found a market.
You know what I mean?
I see what you did.
Yeah, you never know.
It's creators create.
That's what they do. Creators. Joe thought he got his shit off. I hate when Joe say something, he think he got it off. Creators create.
I'm so scared about
Yeah, create through it. Create through it. No? That was equivalent to when I heard Cam say computers puting. I was like, yo, get the fuck out of here.
They computed.
Computers.
But that's why I'm so scared of this tour, which we're in LA and Oakland. Buy your tickets now while they're still available. I'm scared that Joe is gonna get his creators create speech off this whole tour, like, because that's his spiel at the end.
Yeah,
is to tell the creators that they gotta create.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
now I'm thinking that we have all these dates coming up, and we just gotta hear this speech every night.
This bitch is tough. All right, I got a question for y'all, and don't judge me. Y'all don't judge me. Y'all don't have to. Why are people still hanging out around Rich the Kid?
With their jewelry on.
No, period.
What happened now?
What happened last time? Same thing again.
Same thing that keeps happening to Rich the
Okay,
Kid.
where was Tory Briggs when all this happened?
I don't know. I'm still trying to find out where Usher was when all this happened.
Same studio, different room.
Okay.
Why do people keep getting the drop on Rich the Kid?
Didn't I already tell this
People
motherfucker?
on Instagram live
He
and all
probably
that
left
type
his
of shit.
location on.
Well, no, yeah, well, that's the rumor that he was on Instagram, put up the money phone, and 4 hours later, there was some niggas in the studio with guns.
Yeah,
That
that's how it
sounds
goes.
about like how it goes. You niggas are fucking idiots.
Dog, I don't post shit until I'm going like 2 days later from that spot.
Yeah, I learned a fucking valuable lesson in Hoboken Johnny Rockets that time.
Yeah.
Posting where I was at. Everybody flew over there. I'm like,
And Johnny Rockets has like the bright ass lights that you could see from over the Hudson.
Across the street.
and Johnny Rockets don't give a fuck about protecting their customers either.
Their patrons.
Yeah, not at all.
The only protectors is shakes.
As long as they can stand up and do their little shake dance.
For real.
That shake dance is why I would have never worked with Johnny Rockets too. You ain't telling me I gotta get up every 45 minutes.
I mean, you're pissed off if some
I've never seen
motherfucking
Little
rude
Milkshake
gets
song.
attacked.
I've seen it.
That shit is funny. Imagine a person gotta teach you that, like, you know.
Go home and practice.
Way further than that back in the day when niggas used to go to the mall and bag a chick. Like the chick I liked was the fine girl in Johnny Rockets. Like they try to come through. Every time I came through, like it was a date too. I was young, so I didn't know how to get fly. So I was trying to look at every time I would like go to Johnny Rockets. Time for her to get up. So I was young, so I was trying.
Nigga, no!
I'm doing it with her, like, yeah. When you get off.
When you get off.
When you get off.
It's crazy that you ended up spending the rest of your life in strip clubs.
Set up.
See?
And Johnny Rockets.
Yeah, down here.
Right here.
You knew where he was headed.
It was one
He's still trying to kick it to chicks while they working. Chick shaking a margarita. Chick, yo, what time you get off? Bam. She made it.
You know what this margarita is for.
Yeah, like, you know what time to get off.
You know I have to count the tips. You know what time I get off.
Oh, that's the worst when you're dating a chick at work at the strip club.
Oh my God.
Now you gotta wait for her to count up the whole register.
5:30 before you pull off.
6:30. Easy.
And she tired. Oh,
In the
she tired.
beginning,
Wait till 1 p.m.
legends of flying men soared.
Alright. We have 40-ounce Vans tweets.
Freaking bitch, come give me a kiss. Pac is crazy. Yo, what is wrong with Tupac?
That's why Pac is one of the greatest, man.
Tupac is wild.
He'll go from that
Yeah.
and if he don't love you, you should leave him. Like, what? What are you talking
You
about?
go from freaky bitch, come give me a kiss. If he don't love you, you should leave him.
Like, what are you talking about?
Oh man, Pac is the greatest. I'm done, man. I'm getting the fuck out.
I mean, is it Uchi Wally or is it
ass JoJo. Look at JoJo.
It was either JoJo or Danny Boy used to get off on the Pac.
Why JoJo came in crooning like he was the nigga getting pussy in the group?
What you mean?
Wait, he ain't
Of course
get
he
pussy.
was.
Alright.
You don't think JoJo got any? Come on, man.
Fourth?
No. Singing like that in the 90s?
He got pussy.
Come on, man.
JoJo ain't get pussy before Dalvin, Devontae, or KC. Not a one.
They wasn't on this song.
I don't give a fuck. Dalvin ain't said a word his whole life. He still was getting pussy before JoJo. Devontae was getting pussy before JoJo, and we know KC got all the. Well, who was JoJo fucking?
All right, what about
No
just the KC and JoJo tour? JoJo was getting
then he was getting pussy.
Yeah, he was getting pussy on Jodeci tour too. Don't do
No way.
He definitely was.
Y'all are fucking
He
crazy.
definitely was. He definitely was.
JoJo?
Well, who'd he fuck?
Somebody's auntie.
40 years and nobody.
Somebody that listens to
No.
this podcast, auntie was getting fucked by JoJo.
None of my aunts fuck JoJo.
You don't know that.
Your aunts fuck JoJo.
I don't know that.
Rory aunts ain't fuck JoJo.
We don't know that. It could have been a hot summer night in Measles, Boston. And JoJo felt like getting some Irish boxing. He might have fell in some. Yeah,
In the
he
beginning,
might have fell in some.
legends of flying men soared. And today, you are on the brink of transforming those legends into a reality.
Sound like he was getting
With flight and new forms of communication, you can create a small and intimate world.
This is just great singing.
But at what cost? Our
Oh yeah, nigga, get out of here.
Ooh, yes.
He ain't got no vision.
You got him twisted.
You know.
Okay.
Hold on, here.
You know people get pussy on tour that aren't even in the group?
I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
I actually have another theory that I'm not gonna say. We got sleepers.
We might.
Let's go play some niggas.
You gonna steal my sleeper again?
No, actually, it's fine. I got you right now. Saturday, I don't want to hear.
Nah, so I was about to play.
You gonna play how you want?
No, I'm playing 112 right now. Fuck you, niggas.
I want your body close, you on top of me. Drip all over me. Baby, me inside of you.
That's it? Alright. I'm gonna listen to the sleepers. Sorry, Joe Beasy. There's another goddamn R&B. Rhythm and bullshit.
Comic book fans know what they like.
Comic book fan. Just shut up. Oh wow.
Now to our ABC News exclusive, rapper 21 Savage speaking out for the first time since his release by ICE. The hip-hop artist, who was born in England, was arrested by immigration authorities for overstaying his visa, held for 9 days, forcing him to miss his performance at the Grammys. He sat down with ABC's Lindsay Davis here with this exclusive interview. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, George. Yes, he was born in England, but 21 Savage says he is from Atlanta. He says it's where he grew up, starting in first grade. From the moment he was first detained, his legal team says there's been a lot of misinformation. And less than 24 hours after being released from an ICE detention center, 21 Savage sat down with us to set the record straight. A rising star in the music industry, 21 Savage is considered Atlanta rap royalty, known for chart-topping hits like Rockstar, which features his distinct voice. A song he was supposed to perform at this year's Grammys, where he was nominated for 2 awards.
Song 21 Savage, it should be here tonight.
But instead of gracing the stage at the premier event in music, he was being held in an immigration detention center in South Georgia. Many fans were stunned to learn the rapper was born in Britain, but lived in Atlanta. Immigration authorities say he overstayed his visa, which expired 13 years ago.
So yeah, the next motherfucker that attacks me, I'm taking their whole fucking
I feel like the
shit
way
out.
that they
Sick of this shit.
policy is wrong.
While he was detained, an outpouring of support from some of the biggest names in the music industry.
Share your support.
And a petition with nearly 500,000 names to keep him in the U.S. permanently. Jay-Z providing a powerhouse legal team to get him out of the detention center and keep him in the country. Walk us through February 3rd, just a few hours before the Super Bowl is about to take place here in Atlanta, and you get pulled over. What happened?
I don't even know. I was just driving, and I just seen blue lights. And then I was in the back of a car, and I was gone.
They tell you you're under arrest?
Nah, they didn't say nothing. They just said, we got Savage.
They said, we got Savage.
Yeah.
Sounds like this was potentially something they set out to do. This would have been targeted and not just a random traffic stop.
It was definitely targeted.
The 26-year-old, whose real name is Shea bin Abraham Joseph, says he came to the U.S. with his mom and brothers when he was 7 years old. At a certain point, 2006, your visa expired.
I didn't know what a visa was. Like, I was 7 when I first came here. I knew I wasn't born here, but I didn't know, like, what that thing was. Like, I wouldn't hide it, but it's like, I didn't want to get deported, so I'm not going to just come out and be like, hey, by the way, I wasn't born here.
His arrest by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency came just days after the rapper released his music video, A Lot.
How many products you got?
You have a line in there where you say, went through some things, but I couldn't imagine my kids stuck at the border.
Right.
Do you feel like you were targeted as a result of that? Basically being critical of the immigration system here?
My lawyers think that.
What do you think?
I don't really know. I can't really say. I think I would see why people would think that, but I really can't say.
The Department of Homeland Security has been aware he's been living here on an expired visa for some time. Back in 2017, he applied to become a lawful permanent resident.
I've been here 20 years, 19 years. This is all I know. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like you should be arrested and put in a place where a murderer would be for just being in the country for too long.
Tell us about what the detention center was like.
I was like in one room all day.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Do you have that concern now that you might be kicked out?
Yeah, but I feel like I've been through so much in my life. Like, I've learned to embrace the times when I'm down because they always build me up.
We are in the middle of securing his immigration status, so where he's a citizen, but it's very, very complicated, and there's a lot of steps that we have to go through.
His 3 children, too young to understand the complexities behind why Daddy was gone for 9 days.
Who the best daddy in the world?
Bill, what was that moment like?
Oh, so I do have a harbor
when we
over
got
here.
to hug them and see them.
They started jumping me.
On Wednesday, 21 Savage was released on $100,000 bond. There are a lot of people who don't get a bond, who you left still back in the detention center. What's your message to them?
I feel your pain, and I'm going to do everything in my power to try and bring awareness to your pain.
ICE confirms to us that 21 Savage was indeed apprehended during a targeted operation with federal and local law enforcement partners. He says his #1 priority right now is becoming a U.S. citizen, George.
Okay, Lindsay, thanks for joining now by one of the members of the legal team brought in by Jay-Z, Alex Spiro, partner at Quinn Emanuel. Alex, thank you for joining us this morning. So ICE concedes he was targeted. The question is, was he targeted because of his music?
Yes, and we believe, honestly, that he was targeted, of course, like they said, and part of the reason, we think, is because he's both a celebrity, and they can use this as a way to send a message, and also, perhaps, because of his music.
Is this the case that they would normally bring someone who's been here 19, 20 years?
We don't believe so. There's a lot of things about this case that are curious and troubling. Even if you start at the beginning, he's somebody who comes here as a young man, who's one of the dreamers, as they're called. And he comes over here and he has a singular offense for marijuana when he's a college-age person. That's vacated, sealed. There's no issue. He's getting a visa. He's operating in good faith. He's performing. He's giving back to his community. He's a son. He's a father. And yet they take this step, this unusual step, to arrest him the week before the hearings and not give a bond. And we find the whole thing curious and troubling.
And so the big question now is what's next? Is he actually vulnerable to deportation?
He's certainly vulnerable, but we're confident, and his fans should be confident, that he'll be able to remain here. And, you know, we're hoping that that will give, you know, some hope to everybody else that fights these issues.
Well, and that's what I wanted to get to, is 21 Savage says he wants to send a broader message to educate everyone about what's going on. What is the message?
Well, I think the message is that we can't forget about the people that don't have the resources, that don't have the fame to fight for their freedom, both in the criminal system and in the immigration system. You know, there's people that are just totally forgotten that exist in these detention centers, and people like Jay-Z, and he stepped in for Meek Mill, and he stepped in here, and now I'm hoping people like 21 Savage will bring light to these issues and help the people that are forgotten.
Alex Sparrow, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks so much.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Alright.
A great video game can be defined by many things, be it an iconic protagonist, great music, impressive visuals, a nuanced plot, and
everybody's got fucking airfields now, and I'm still fucking...
boss fight the player is never going to forget,
how the fuck did I let everybody catch up to me?
For years or decades to come. These 10 bosses, drawn from different eras and genres, represent those you need to beat at least once before you die. Whether you play the rest of the game or not, these bosses guarantee a slice of gaming history at its finest. Before we begin though, these of course aren't the only 10 you need to beat, so leave your suggestions below as to who else needs to perish before you do. I'm Rich from What Culture, and these are 10 video game bosses you must beat before you die. Number 10, Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime. Beating the game requires battles. The first of which is by the shell form and requires players to use relevant beams according to which color Prime turns. Bear in mind, this also allows Prime to deliver a multitude of devastating attacks which require pitch-perfect timing to avoid. At the conclusion of this fight, Prime leaves the shell and the true final boss fight begins. Things get tougher as Prime shifts through the various spectrums, requiring players to use different visors to keep track of what's going on. The goal to victory is to wait until Prime throws a couple of phazon on the floor, allowing you to stand in it and use your phazon beam and eventually destroy the beast. It's far from the most challenging fight on this list, but it's beyond epic, and the two-part nature of this battle makes it all that more intense. Number 9, the boss, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. A classic Metal Gear Solid boss fight comes at the conclusion of Snake Eater, with Naked Snake facing down his old mentor, the boss, in a remote lily field, making for one of the all-time greatest cinematic video game standoffs. The key to winning this fight is typically engaging with the boss in close-quarters combat, while avoiding her own attacks, as well as firing from her trusty gun, the Patriot. Due to the nature of the boss's white camouflage, using thermal goggles is a great way to make the fight easier for yourself, and to eventually guarantee your victory. But that's not all. As she hands over the Philosopher's Legacy to Naked Snake, the player then has one final task, to end the boss's life with one shot from the Patriot. It's an incredibly haunting, groundbreaking moment in video game lore, one that heightened the emotional intensity and importance by forcing the player to pull the trigger. It's then leads to the devastating reveal that, in fact, the boss was not the traitor we thought her to be, and she was working undercover to steal the Philosopher's Legacy and bring it back to the US. Mind-blowing, doesn't even begin to describe it. Number 8, Nihilanth, Half-Life. The Nihilanth is the leader of all the nasties that invade Black Mesa during the events of the brilliant Half-Life, and the finale of the game sees Gordon Freeman traveling to this alien world Zen to do battle with this beast once and for all. As a whole, Half-Life is pretty challenging as far as an FPS goes, the Nihilanth being the zenith of this difficulty, as the Master Alien fires energy balls at you which can result in a very quick demise if you're not paying proper attention. After working your way through some challenges the Nihilanth throws your way, you have to dive atop this giant monster's head and destroy its brain with whatever weapons you have left. This will immediately lead to the famous dilemma G-Man presents to you: accept his job or die. Number 7, Bowser, Super Mario 64. Bowser is the final boss of video games. Any of Bowser's appearances could have been put on this list, but for the sake of nostalgia and for its importance in the world of video games, this one's going to Super Mario 64. We've destroyed the platform underneath him. We've punched him in the face with a boxing glove hat. We've come toe-to-toe with Meowser. No, I'm not kidding on that one. But best of all, we've run circles around him, grabbed him by the tail, and flung him into space. Right. Super Mario 64's build to this boss fight is, of course, in itself a masterpiece. But this boss fight is the way to rescue the princess. Suck it, King Koopa. Number 6, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Frequently hailed as one of the most challenging boss fights in video game history, the final opponent in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is, surprisingly, Tyson himself, a hulking beast of a man with a record of 99-0, all knockouts, who will most likely make mincemeat out of you the first 20 times you play this match. The key to beating Tyson is that it's all about patience and reflexes, especially during the start of the match, in which Tyson flings his signature dynamite punches at you in an attempt to quickly bring the match to a close. Though most of Tyson's attacks can be anticipated by a visual cue, sometimes he'll just jab at you out of nowhere, so it's best to both keep on the move and keep dodging while getting jabs in where possible. Eventually this approach will knock Tyson out, or you can hope for a win by decision, but either way you will have probably smashed through quite a few controllers first. Number 5, M. Bison, Street Fighter 2. After fighting through every other character in Street Fighter 2, you have to take down the final boss, M. Bison, who naturally is the most infuriatingly difficult of the lot. His Psycho Crusher attack in particular has caused many defeats, and generally, playing the defensive is a much easier way to win than going outright on the offensive. Bison can reverse the vast majority of your attacks if you even get slightly overzealous, but take a cautious approach and you'll find yourself slowly whittling his health down. Keep it up and you'll have a good chance of winning, bringing an end to one of the greatest beat-em-ups in the history of video games. Beat Bison and consider yourself a master of this classic brawler. Number 4, Sephiroth, Final Fantasy VII. After dozens of hours of working your way through Final Fantasy VII, the final boss is certainly a doozy worthy of everything that came before. Beating the game requires defeating Sephiroth in 3 boss fights that occur in direct sequence of one another. The first, Bizarro Sephiroth, isn't too much of a challenge as long as you focus your attacks on his body, though he tends to heal himself to the effect of thousands of HP every round, so you need to make sure your most powerful attacks are prepped to go. The second stage, Save for Sephiroth, is the part most people struggle with. His stats vary depending on the conditions of your party, and one of the most frustrating elements is the Supernova attack he performs, which doesn't just deal massive damage, but results in a super long 2-minute animation which can't be skipped. Basically, you need to throw everything you have at him now, as this is the final battle which includes him. It's really very difficult, that's for sure. Finally, part 3 cannot be lost. You just intensely on the slash, and both the fight and the game will be over. We did it for Eris. Number 3, Ganon, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. And you thought Ganondorf was a badass. At the end of Ocarina of Time, he used the Triforce to transform into the giant form known as Ganon. To make matters worse, Ganon knocks the Master Sword out of your reach during the pre-fight cutscene, though on the plus side, at least you have the Navi to give you a little help. The key to getting through the first stage of the battle is to move fast and keep attacking his tail, after which point the flames keeping you from the Master Sword will die down, and you can go and grab it. His sword attacks cause ridiculous levels of damage, forcing you to keep moving, hitting his tail whenever you can, and firing light arrows at him. Once Ganon is near dead, Zelda will hold him still while you stab him in the face and win the fight. Looking back, it's not a particularly difficult fight, but it's easily one of the best bosses from the Zelda franchise, perhaps in part due to nostalgia, and also due to its, at the time, revolutionary 3D graphics. Number 2, Ornstein and Smaug, Dark Souls. Any boss in Dark Souls is enough to put you through paces. Not only do you have to damage bosses as much as possible, you need to dodge and preempt some of the most life bar draining attacks in video games. With Ornstein and Smaug, you have to do that twice over at the same damn time. With Ornstein's speedy lightning attacks and Smaug's slow but powerful pummels, you've got the best, or worse, of both worlds to contend with and up against these two. However, once you defeat one, the other becomes more powerful and regain all of their health. Ornstein grows to twice his size, and Smaug gains the ability to use lightning. When you finally defeat both of these monstrosities, 50,000 souls are yours. There is no finer feeling. And number 1, Psycho Mantis, Metal Gear Solid. The Mantis fight in Metal Gear Solid is one of the all-time trickiest boss fights, especially in 1998, before people were savvy enough to use the internet for guides. players knew something weird was up at the start of the fight when Mantis would read players' memory cards to see what other Konami games they played and comment accordingly, and also shape the PS1 controller by way of its mind control. It was a fun gimmick to set us up for the fight, but the strangest
I need fucking trade routes.
Once the fight starts, players will be dismayed that attacking Mantis does not work, because you can read your every move, and the solution is to unplug the controller and plug it into the second controller slot, making Mantis unable to read your minds. From then on, the battle is a piece of cake, but as a kid who was bemused by this for a long time, it was the holy grail of tough boss battles. It's also sure proof of Hideo Kojima's demented genius. And that's our list. As I've said, these aren't the only 10 you must beat, so let me know down below what other bosses players need to sink their teeth and sharp objects into. As always, WhatCulture.com is a good source of video game and boss fight goodies, and What Culture Gaming on Twitter is also known as the final boss of the internet. I'm Rich from What Culture, and I'd barely be a big boss, let's face it.
Wasn't that something? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also the people who made this lovely video, they're appearing right here. But if you're thinking to yourself, I want to see more content, Jules, then why not look above my head? As there probably is some. I don't know. I can't see it. Until next time.
What's my religious bonus looking like?
Boss battles are meant to be the ultimate challenge, a test of the skills that you've learned up to that point, and they're supposed to be experiences that linger on in your memory long after you've felled a mighty beast. The feeling of going toe-to-toe with titanic terrors is exhilarating, but it's an experience only bettered when you discover that you can actually fell this foe with a single well-placed hit. You just stand there thinking, wait, did that just happen? Did that thing go down easier than your mum after a lager shandy? That's my one per list, and yes, it did. Now, some of these tactics might not be honourable, but for the sheer thrill of the kill, they can't be beat. So with this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 intimidating video game bosses that can be killed with just one hit. Number 10. The End. Metal Gear Solid 3. In classic Kojima fashion, there are multiple ways to tackle the bosses within Metal Gear Solid 3, but the old-timer sniper The End takes the cake when it comes to the inventive options the player is given to kill him. Because while you can take the regular route of having a sniper battle with the old geezer, you can also go into the settings of whatever console you're playing on, move the clock forward a week, reload the save, and watch as he dies of old age. Not that satisfying, but you can do it. However, there's another way you can one-hit kill him way before you even have to worry about facing off against him. Early on in the title, you'll stumble across a cutscene that shows most of the main bosses having a chat, and The End is just sitting over there idle in a wheelchair. If you're quick enough, when this cutscene ends, you can bring up your sniper and squeeze a headshot right in there, beating him hours before you usually would. Take that, Grandad. Number 9. Jiro Jiro, Final Fantasy VIII. Jiro Jiro, or Gero Gero if you want to get technical about it, is also known as the fake President D-Ling, and was a pretty damn terrifying two-stage boss found in Final Fantasy VIII. It's an undead monster that emerges from the corpse of a political imposter, and the only way that players can deal damage to him is to spam him with cure and life spells while every other attack is rendered useless. Pretty intimidating at a glance. Once you get the hang of which attacks you're supposed to use, he's fairly easy. In fact, if you're a clever little swine, you can just flip him the V's and yell, "Oi, chew on this," and you sling a Phoenix hook down his ugly mug, which kills him instantly, or lives him instantly. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, take that, Grandad. Number 8. Iwajira, Borderlands the pre-sequel. The Borderlands series is well known for its love of massive monsters, cramming all of its dankest caves with the stuff that would give H.R. Geiger a nightmare. One such behemoth was Iwajira, in the Borderlands pre-sequel, who can one-shot even high-level players with ease. I mean, it's at least named and based on Godzilla, so it's going to be a bit of a brute. But just as the pen is mightier than the sword if you stab somebody in the neck with it while they're sleeping, so too is the righteousness of the inflammable shooter Star Shield. This gives a huge damage buff when it's depleted, and when coupled with a melee boost skill tree setup for Nisha, can mean that when the shield drops, you can tap Iwajira and turn him into a beautiful and gory loot pinata. Take that, Bandad. Number 7. Deathel, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Although it often gets overlooked, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening was a pretty damn fine installment in the iconic series, and one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people picked up a Game Boy back in today. Getting to the final screen and facing off against the last boss is an arduous journey, and if you weren't careful, the different forms of Nightmare could make quick work of you. However, if you wanted to embarrass this boss, you could kill it by using a trusty old boomerang and a well-timed shot to the chops. True, you'd need to get through its other forms first, but my god is it funny to take this ugly fella down with a curved stick. Take that, Grandad. Number 6, Adamantoise, Final Fantasy 15. At the time of its release, this creature sparked rumours of a 2-hour fight, and for one unlucky X-What Culture personality led to a lot of problems. Yet, if you're smart about it, you can bypass this towering tortoise with a single hit. Introduced with the Chapter 13 DLC, the Ring of Lucio buff gives you the chance to take out any enemy in a single hit. Unfortunately, you have to play around with the RNG game, as well as being pretty high level for this to work, but when it works and you take down this beast with a single blow, it feels unbelievably satisfying. Take that, Gland Lad. Number 5, Bowser, Super Mario Bros. One of the original one-hit kill bosses. Taking out Bowser at the end of the first Super Mario Bros. Didn't require any major test of might, but simply the ability to jump and pick up an axe, or kick it over, I guess. I mean, it could be argued that you don't hit him at all, but rather the stage. But we're including it in this list because, my god, let me have some fun once in a while. Although it seems like an obvious solution now, back in the day it wasn't entirely clear of what you were supposed to do. Still, now everyone knows how to quickly get through this final trial, to the point where the battle itself has been remixed multiple times in the likes of New Super Mario Bros. In order to keep the players on their toes. Take that, Bland Brad. Number 4, the Electrocution, Batman Arkham Origins. For all the missteps of Origins, the one thing it did well, for the most part at least, was the boss battles. And the one encounter above all that without a doubt had you holding together your bat sides from splitting apart from laughter was this guy, the Electrocutioner. Now, this fella is a 2-bit band in the best of times, but the game does such a good job of hyping up his intentions before the fight starts that you think to yourself, okay, fine, we're gonna have a little showdown, are we? You start planning your tactics. You think to yourself, okay, cool, he's got electricity, so maybe I can slug him with this, and then over on that, and I can use his stun base as a shield, or I could just punch him once in the face. Ah, brilliant. In hindsight, it can be seen as a bit underwhelming, but for the first time that you did this, it was hilarious and a great way to subvert expectations. Take that, Bland Blab. Number 3, Mysterio, Spider-Man 2. Being pretty fragile when it comes to fisticuffs, it's the smoke and mirrors fighting style that have made Mysterio such a formidable foe. But when you come face to face with him in the time to Sam Raimi's second movie, it seems as though for once the Rogue has the bark to back up his bite. Coming in with 5 huge health bars, it seems that you're going to be bashing away at him for a long time to get his HP down to 0. But like everything else related to the villain, this huge pool of health is just a mere trick to intimidate you, and it only takes one hit to deplete them all in one big go. Consequently, all it takes is a little slap to the face to turn him into a snivelling mess on the floor, a far cry from the imposing figure that he looked like at the start of the battle. Take that, man, cad. Number 2, Ancient Wyvern, Dark Souls 3. An optional boss found on Archdragon Peak in Dark Souls 3, the Ancient Wyvern is one of the largest and most imposing enemies in the entire series. As you try to chip away at its ankles, you begin to realise that this is never going to work, and unless your head is made of pig iron, you're going to try and run past it or avoid it for a little while. In truth, fighting to get up to a vantage point above the beast is the hardest part, with extendo non-friendos who want to snuff out your Tinder quicker than my attempts at dating filling the path. However, if you make it past all of these snicker snags, you get to drop in its bonds and kill the Wyvern in one hit. It's not really in keeping with the Dark Souls ethos, but I commend FromSoft for trying something new. And the Nameless King kinda, definitely 100% made up for it later. Take that, Sland Lad. And number 1, Sans, Undertale. Oh, look, I'm putting Undertale at number 1. Oh, I must be a cock edgelord who only eats cress and thinks Rick and Morty is deep. Yeah, well, hurtful truths aside, the fight with Sans is truly a terrifying prospect. Bombarding you with attacks that take up the entire screen, the boss can deplete your health bar in an instant if you don't have your wits about you. And it's almost certain that you're going to have to die over and over again before you can get the hang of his patterns. Fortunately, despite being so formidable on the offense, he's extremely fragile when you do actually get the opportunity to attack, and will go down in one hit once you drag your cursor over to the fight command. Still, actually getting to the point where an attack is viable is not easy, and it's probably far more effort than it's worth. But anyway, take that, soy cuck. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. Might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.
So I don't even have the option for the flight shit down here.
People who put pineapple on pizza. Ben Potter's hashtag joke. My penis. There are just some things in life which will divide people. gaming is no exception, with titles that will inspire devotion from one side of the room and ire from the other, each defending their positions with righteous indignation. At the end of the day, it's all down to personal preference, and in an ideal world, we should just let people do their thing and get on with their own pathetic existences. But this is the internet, and nicety will get you nowhere. With this in mind, I'm Jules, the unrelenting love to your well of hatred, and these are 10 divisive video games you either love or hate. Number 10, Heavy Rain. One of the main criticisms leveled at this title was that it wasn't really a game at all. It was more like an interactive movie. This divided people into two camps, those that loved the more cinematic approach, and those that thought that £50 for a movie was a bit much. It's got an extremely engaging story, but the lack of actual gameplay elements left players wanting more. But then again, if you're looking for a slow-paced, candle-burning narrative that is in places exceptionally well written, then maybe you can look past it. Number 9, Final Fantasy. Now, this isn't the first Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 1, but the series as a whole, which might seem a little catch-all, but if you were to take pretty much any of the Final Fantasy titles, you'd find die-hard fans and others that wanted to just die in equal measure. And to be honest, I'm in the die-hard fan camp, and even I can see what people don't like about it. Some characters are extremely grating, especially since they decided to start talking, and turn-based combat isn't everyone's cup of tea. There's also a lot of plot which exists simply to pad out the titles to the 100-hour mark. But you know what? I and many others can look past that and just enjoy the endless hours of grinding in beautiful worlds with fantastically special characters. Number 8, League of Legends / Dota. Time investment. These two words are pretty much the dividing factor between loving games like League of Legends and Dota and utterly hating it. Its supporters are fanatical in nearly every sense, learning all the intricacies of characters and operating matches with all the planning of a corporate merger. And from personal experience, the culture around them is more than a little harsh to newcomers. That being said, League and Dota are exceptionally well-made games, and if you put the time into them, you'll find titles which are beyond rewarding in their payoff. The tension and almost zealot-like devotion of fans make for some of the most compelling esports in the market, and to be honest, I love it when people get salty over big matches. Just sustains me. Number 7, online games. Overwatch, Evolve, Battlefront, For Honor, all of these have one thing in common. They are pretty much all multiplayer-orientated experiences with at the best a threadbare single-player experience tacked on. Now, some people hate this, as, simply put, they just want a decent solo experience, and you know what, I can dig that, as I'm always a little wary of dropping 50-plus wing-wangs on something which might have a dead community in just a few months. It also is a massive turn-off for those that aren't super competitive in nature, and the thought of constantly dying or being told you suck isn't really the motivators they need. I, however, love a bit of the old ultra-violence, so can see the draw in multiplayer-only titles. Do I think that some games should have been cheaper as a result of lack of other modes? Yes, okay. But do I still go out and buy online-only titles? Also yes. But then again, Number 6, Destiny. Destiny was not something I bought into, but I know a lot of people who did truly ride that hype train hard, and of those people I knew friends that absolutely loved what was presented and the negative part was competitive combat, dull performances, and next to non-existent storyline. For the more positive people, there was the MMO style, the multitude of raids, and the fun customization options. The problem was that the initial release divided the player base so much that even though Destiny has received multiple fixes and is now a very decent game, it couldn't bring back those that it has snubbed so astutely. Number 5, The Division. The Division was pretty aptly named and was pretty much like Destiny, in that it was met with a lot of critical responses. The story was weak, the areas were detailed yet not outstanding, and the shooting mechanics were just bizarre. Like, I can't remember a game where 40 headshots would fail to take down an enemy, but you know what, there we go. The evidently defended the game for its huge amount of content and interesting premise. The co-op aspects as well were a huge selling point, as teams all over the world gathered together to slap old Tommy Terrorist on the backside. Which side do I fall on? Well, let's just say 30 different coloured puffer jackets didn't get my rocks approved. Number 4, Ratchet Deadlocked. I love this game. I'm aware of how utterly dumb it was for Ratchet to up his edge and become a space marine, but for a more budget-friendly release, I adored the short challenge arenas this game boasted. But to a fan base used to a lovable duo of very friendly and very comical stylings, this was as hard to swallow pill as an ostrich suppository. It also even removed one of the titular heroes almost entirely, which angered even more fans. However, if you live in good revived town, you'd be able to see that the environments were varied and challenging, the weapons were highly customizable, and even the Landstalker missions, while being a tad boring, were implemented well to break up the main combat challenges. Number 3, GTA 4. Reality. It's something that fans of the GTA series weren't really used to up until GTA 4 dropped. With its realistic handling of cars and presentation, it was less about jetpacks and more about bowling with cousins. Coming off of the back of San Andreas, which set the bar astronomically high, GTA 4 had a lot to live up to, and for many the tone change was not what they were looking for. Many complained about the clunky shooting mechanics and cars that drove with all the horsepower of a bedridden toddler. You could even look to the success of Saints Row 2 and 3, which capitalized on Rockstar's repressed attitude by offering insanity in disc form and cleaning up sales-wise. Now don't get me wrong, this game is utterly fantastic and so well produced, but it does feel like it was missing the sense of fun that was present prior. Number 2, Minecraft. Minecraft, a game limited only by your imagination or creativity, or whether you can stomach never being able to build a perfect circle. It's an unrelenting success story, having made absolutely millions and adorned many a gamer's room with punches, toys, and toys. Yet the media has and always will paint this game as being very much a kid's game, and this has proved to be a point of contention within the fan base. Sure, it's very simple looking, but in terms of gameplay, it's incredibly deep, and some might say even obtuse. As a result, you've got a very divided view of the game. Those that think it's too simple or even too hard to crack on one side, and then on the other you have people who sink hundreds of hours into the title, trying to climb that ever-changing cliff of creativity and making the best skull-shaped mountain lair with lava for eyes and a tongue drawbridge. Can but dream. And number 1, Dark Souls. Of course this divides people. It's a franchise built on punishment, timing, patience, and in my case, crime. I am very much in the camp who tells others to get good, but even I can see how off-putting this title is to some. Why would you want to spend up to half an hour traipsing back over ground you've already covered because you were one-shotted by a boss? Why would you want to constantly get invaded by others who are literally trying to make your experience more difficult? Why would you want to enter a world with confusing and at best totally
Apostle's been getting fucking murdered and nobody's been telling me?
You don't know. On paper that sounds terrible. But much like my 50-year phone contract, I am locked the f*** in. The combat is satisfying to unprecedented levels. The world is vast and feels so connected by all of its strange inhabitants. And while it's less a difficulty curve and more of a cliff face for newcomers, if you can get over the initial bump, it is so rewarding. So in short, yeah, I know that Dark Souls is not for everyone, and that people probably really hate it. But you know what? It's 100%. And that's our list. What your game which split you in two? Well, let me know about it in the comment section below. And why not switch on what this every goddamn day. You can follow us on Twitter here. As always, I've been Jules. You've been awesome. I'll speak to you soon.
لا.
Sometimes it's very easy to see why certain video games get banned. It could be their overabundance of violence, their approach to sexual situations,
jets are fast and economical, but oh my, what fun we've lost, and what leisure we've sacrificed in the race for efficiency.
There are a few games that have been pulled from the shelves for reasons that you wouldn't immediately be able to identify. From misinterpreted death threats to worries over street art, I've compiled a little list which delves into the odd times that offence was caused. With this in mind, I'm Jules, your one per list wonder, and these are 9 bizarre reasons why popular video games were banned. Number 9, Football Manager 2005. We begin with a game which on paper looks like the least offensive title you could think of. Firstly, it's football, and the only violent thing about the beautiful game is the fans, and they're not even a big factor in the Football Manager series. I mean, sure, they pay the wages, but you don't really see them louting about. In all other areas, the game is just basically Microsoft Excel, just you dealing with strategies, business emails, and looking at financial documents. In fact, it sounds about as detached from football as your mum is from her emotions as she takes her 8th lover of the night. Oof, that was a bit dark, and also my one per list. Anyway, Football Manager sounds like a right laugh, right? Well, apparently China didn't get the joke, as they banned the game outright with a statement that the game was seen as a harm to the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Well, how did things get so, if you'll excuse the pun, messy? Yeah, that's a football joke for you there. I do watch it occasionally. Well, it's because the game treats Tibet and Taiwan as independent countries, and that is a no-fly zone for the Chinese government, who doesn't want anything suggesting such separation from the great nation. Therefore, they claimed independence from Football Manager 2005, and anyone found with a copy was fined thousands of pounds. That was until a revised version with Tibet back under Chinese rule was released, and the nation eventually relented. Number 8, EverQuest. Released back in 1999, EverQuest was a jolly old romp through fantastical planes, combining RPG action with everyone's favourite thing, stats. As I just mentioned before in Football Manager, everyone loves it. And it was famously one of the first 3D MMORPGs to have reached mainstream success, and is still supported by fans and modders to this day. However, while it might have captured the hearts of fans across the world, Brazil apparently wasn't so keen, banning the game because the game leads the player to a loss of moral virtue and takes them into heavy psychological conflicts because of the game's quests. Okay, so let's just break that down for a second. So the government of Brazil, who, and this isn't just me being a pedant, has been reported multiple times of being pretty damn corrupt in places, is telling the people that this game about elves, knights, and the spirit of adventure would cause them to lose moral virtue. If anything, the game encouraged people to work together, which is the exact opposite of their reasoning. Although maybe I do have to give it to them a little, because it was heavily psychological when your great team couldn't get their act together. Yet the weirdness doesn't stop there, as this ban wasn't placed on the game when it first launched back in 1999, but in 2008, which seems to suggest that the government blames the game on any economic downturn that they've actually experienced. Mental. Number 7, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell: Pandora of Tomorrow. The Splinter Cell games are something of a rare joy in today's environment, focusing on stealth and manipulation of game AI to take down targets and complete objectives. And you know what? Michael Ironside as Sam Fisher might well be one of my favourite combinations of voice actors and game characters, and say it with me, kids, in recent memory. Got you again. And with its plots of terrorist cells, subterfuge and corruption greater than this channel has since we allowed Josh to do voiceovers, it was only a matter of time before somebody found a problem with it. And that person was the Indonesian Prime Minister who banned the game in his country. However, if you think for a second that there was a rational thought behind it, you're off the mark, friend. As it turns out that upon hearing that the fake terrorist group in the game was called Dera Dan Doa, which translates to blood and prayer, the Prime Minister thought that this was a direct attack against him. A personal attack. He thought that the game's devs made the title, built the franchise and fan base, so in a sequel they could rib him through the title of a game. Surprisingly, the world went on just fine in the wake of this ban. God, who would have figured? Number 6, Grand Theft Auto Episodes from Liberty City. Oh, a Grand Theft Auto game. Of course this is going to be banned in some countries, right? Well, true, it is a title that's been in more hot water than my mate Problematic Pete. Yeah, to the hot tub warehouse. Well, it turns out that Brazil, hello my old friend again, didn't like the game, so it pulled it from the shelves. Yet this time their reasoning was a little bit more sound, if not totally balls mental. It all came down to copyright infringement, and more importantly a sample of a song whose name I'll now butcher, Boto o Dedino's Pro Alto. How English did I sound reading that out? Which was used in a mission without permission. The ongoing legal battle between Rockstar and the song's artist meant that all copies were pulled from shelves in Brazil, and it was threatened to go even further than that, because when Rockstar produced papers allowing them access to the song, it turned out that the signatures on it weren't from the track artist or their representatives. This threatened to blow out of control with a worldwide removal, but since this point, Rockstar have somehow managed to quiet the storm. Number 5, Mega Man 5. Bless the blue bomber, eh? He's a cheeky little whippet, bouncing around, cleaning up messes in his game and unplugging machines all over the place like a maniac in a nursing home. What harm could he possibly cause anyone? I mean, sure, he's dealing with some quite stacked odds, but nothing super offensive, right? Well, in Vietnam, Mega Man was actually fed a big old ban because of a rather understandably questionable name for one of the robot masters. Napalm Man. And if your knowledge about Vietnam, the Vietnam War, and the use of its devastating substance isn't up to date, I'm pretty sure you can piece it together by combining the 3 previous statements. So it seems pretty obvious that Capcom should have just changed the name of the robot and gone ahead with things, right? Well, that's when it becomes bizarre, as they didn't. In fact, they refused to change the name and just accepted the ban. This has led many to believe that the case wasn't so simple, and in fact, Napalm Man's entire stage was based on Vietnam itself, which would explain the tiger-themed bots and other environmental cues. Number 4, Dead Rising. If you've never been to Germany, then I would encourage you to do so. It's a lovely country with amazing food, an outstanding book fair, and foam-topped beers that even I could drink, and trust me, are bloody well tried. However, they've got some understandable reservations when it comes to their country's past, and therefore anything with content bordering on the Nazi is often banned. Dead Rising, as far as I'm aware, was not one of these games, yet the entire franchise has never been allowed to be sold within Germany because of its violence towards, and I quote, human-like enemies. Now let's break this down for a second, because you'll see how weird it is when we do. They don't state that there is a problem with the violence towards other survivors and non-infected, as they state human-like enemies. However, they do have a problem with you taking out zombies in over-the-top and totally innocuous ways. Are we seeing the rise of the zombie rights activists that ironically make up the opening of the second game? Who knows, but neither will the Germans, as their large gaming market is 100% Frank West free. Number 3. Injustice Gods Among Us. If there's one thing that the United Arab Emirates like, it's women with clothes on and respect for their religion. And one thing that they apparently hated was Injustice Gods Among Us, which caused issues with the government because of the title including the word God, and also because the female fighters in the game were seen as too provocative. What makes this bizarre, though, is that the game was actually shown off at that year's Comic-Con in Dubai, in which players queued for hours to play the title. Companies within shopping malls across the area received numerous complaints that they were unable to purchase the game despite being able to play it, and unfortunately Warner Bros. Weren't allowed to officially release the title in the UAE. It's a shame for many, just having a taste of what many praise as one of the best fighting game narratives ever put to disc. Number 2. Command & Conquer Generals. Oh, it's China back again, this time looking to wipe Command & Conquer generals off the face of their beautiful nation. The problem that they had with the title was fairly simple, and that it painted their country in a negative light, and the superpower using nuclear weapons to deal with their enemy, the GLA. Now, on the surface, this sounds fairly reasonable, right? Any nation looking to dominate another runs the risk of being painted as the bad guys. However, if they'd looked at the plot of this game, then it would become apparent that the Chinese are forced into action after a terrorist attack sees a nuclear weapon detonated during a military parade. In the game, they're treated as an allied force, working with the US to take down the terrorists, and also they're seen as a mega power nation with technology far in advance of the rest of the world, and with a military force that is not to be sniffed at. If anything, the game praises the same militaristic superiority that the nation itself boasts in real life. However, this was not enough to stop the game receiving a ban and sending generals back to the boot camp. And number 1, Mark Echo's Getting Up Content Under Pressure. Jeez, what a mouthful of a title that is, right? Well, for those of you willing to look beyond its wordy box art, you'll find a surprisingly brilliant title about a graffiti artist named Train who is helping to overthrow a dictatorship through mad tags and the like. It might sound weird, but to be honest it kind of is, but it's actually really heartfelt, and the sound and aesthetics of this game really work in its favour. Yet this message of hope within a repressed society didn't get a chance to air in Australia because their government suppressed it. Well, I mean, the irony is quite rich there, isn't it? It turns out that the game was banned because the government was worried that the title would inform other players how to actually tag and ruin their lovely boroughs with bad art. And their evidence for this was testimonies from real-life artists being used in the game. As you'd expect, there was an uproar about this within the gaming community, and Atari, the publishers of the game, appealed for the ban to be lifted, yet the response was a firm no, leaving Mark Echo himself bewildered how Need for Speed, a game which glorified illegal street racing, was rated G by the same governmental board. If you want a bizarre reason to go shopping, then go to shop.whatculture.com for more of my terrible comedy printed on t-shirt form, so you can look as silly and as bold and as laughable. Follow me at RetroGamer0 over on Twitter. You've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye! Okay, so you have the right to critique a piece of work, or art, or film, or game. You have every right to tear apart things that you paid money for that don't satisfy you. That is your right as a human being and your access to independent thought. Now, as a reviewer for video games, it's actually a tougher job than you might realise. No matter what you say about a game, no matter how much legitimised praise or hate that you might give, you'll always find an audience to the opposing side. Much like rocking up to an orgy, you just can't please everyone. Time and time again, critics have put out scores to be met with a sea of boos, and that's their right to review the game however they want, but it's interesting when critical acclaim does not equal mass support from the player base. With this in mind, I'm Jules from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 critically acclaimed video games that the players hated. Number 10, Grand Theft Auto 4. When GTA 4 released, it instantly went down as one of the most critically acclaimed games of all time, with the Xbox 360 version currently standing at an astonishing 98 on Metacritic. It's one of the best reviewed games ever. Yet a Metacritic user score of 6.6 maybe tells us that the praise is overblown. Maybe it was down to how much this entry diverted from the series, shedding the carefree attitude of previous titles in favour of a much more measured and mature approach. Maybe it was the fact that while the world was impressive and detailed, it was hampered by loose gunplay and sluggish driving. Maybe it was because, no, Roman, I don't want to go bowling! Either way, it's a game that is clearly impressive, but maybe not the one the players loved as much as the other entries. Number 9. Far Cry 2. Although it wasn't as well received as its sequel, Far Cry 2 managed to hit a lofty score of 85 from critics when it released back in 2008. You can see why as well, as the title succeeded in creating a dynamic playground for players to cause mayhem in. Unfortunately though, there were a few major sticking points that absolutely dragged down the experience for almost everyone who picked up this title. For one, the weapons you used in the game degraded at a rapid rate, meaning that you were always scrambling during firefights to pick up guns off dead enemies while being riddled with more holes than the plot of Prometheus. This, combined with the malaria mechanic that required you to take medicine at regular intervals and respawning enemies that made exploring the environment a chore, made Far Cry 2 a frustrating gaming experience and dragged down all the moments of brilliance the sequel had to offer, leading to a user Metacritic score of 6.4. Number 8, Mass Effect 3. There's no denying that Mass Effect 3's ending did a lot to sour most players' perception of the whole series, never mind this one game. Reducing 3 RPGs worth of storytelling to a couple of basic choices in the title's final minutes, the climax seemed to contradict a lot of the ethos on decision-making that the franchise had been building. But that isn't the only reason it holds a user rating of 5.7, as the dumbing down of side missions to what
What is this? Damn, how fucking close does this motherfucker need to be? I swear this is supposed to be a ranged unit. And if I get a kill, see my conundrum. Yeah, what I'm not gonna do is block myself off. Impossible. I don't give a shit about you right now. No airplane shit. Gold then. Oh wait, I didn't even look to see if there was an actual airplane. Oh man, what the fuck am I missing? Area Dome District. Five more turns, really, bitch? Man, I don't give a fuck what you do right now. You see me doing important shit? Ooh, military engineer. Back to the war, the important part. Oh. Oh shit, more tanks. You way too close to that goddamn edge. Get the fuck over it. Yeah. Alright. So, before you... can you do it? He's got no turns. He's got turns. There we go. Alright. Come on. Ready to take this dude out. It's gonna start here. And I'm gonna sweep. If I can get Cairo, it's a wrap. This continent will be mine. As he will fold. That's why you never, ever, ever put your shit on the shoreline.
In the hierarchy of the major poetic substances, plastic figures as a disgraced material.
I remember getting fucked over here before. Sweet. Do we got any moves left? I guess we'll find out. Tanks in place. Yeah, I'm scared to put. Oh. Okay. Right here. Tank. You're not trying to go nowhere, so skip the rest of your turn. So do you have any more moves? Oh shit! No, he's gonna get fucked up. Alright, yeah, so if that motherfucker gets shot, then I will... Damn, I feel like I had more shit over here a second ago. Bad moves. Oh yeah, she's my ally, so she's helping. Huh? Great General. Who's this? Ooh, what's this? Coastal raid. What the fuck is a coastal raid? Hell yeah. We here. Heal for this round. Yo, y'all don't shut the fuck up. Ooh, wait a minute. Let's see. Melee, blah blah blah. String 85. Range 10. Atomic Era unit that replaces fighter. 5 combat strength against fighter aircraft. Has 2 flight range. Gains 50% experience. We're gonna see what that does. Choose protection. Good bomber. Choose protection. You're useless right now, so until they move, you're stuck. You're not. Yeah, you are. Y'all don't shut the fuck up about this shit I don't care about right now. Alright, go sleep. Can we trade with London? London on the track. 1, 2, 10, 1. Who the fuck is Cologne? We're not fighting, so London. seen a recommended airstrip nowhere. Like a single fort, just so I know what the fuck it is. Here's oh. Liverpool. Ain't I at war with that motherfucker? Oh no, it's... Yeah, go. Next turn. Thanks for spreading love. You fucking buffoon, get out of here. This one, pew. Damn, I lost 3 fucking people. Y'all are trash. You can move the fuck out of the way now. Take that. Some of you motherfuckers got promotions, don't you? It's a motherfucker on this side. I think I just got you killed, fam. Yeah, I think I just got you killed. Shit you can do, except for getting the fuck out. Let's see how much damage this does. But you lived though. You know you done fucked up now, right? Who the fuck are you? Nah. I'm not putting you right there. It would be a dumb move. But once this motherfucker can move again. One, two, two. Here. So where's the tech? Yeah, I'm about to fuck you all up, bitch. For the moment. Good. That motherfucker still ain't got turns yet. Yeah, just keep on bringing them out. Keep on mowing their asses down.
There may be no forgiveness for polyester. On this one matter, Satan and the Lord are in agreement.
Let me see if this my motherfucking ironclad, bitch. I swear I thought this damn submarine would be stronger than this. Yeah, fuck it. Coming for you, Cairo. Basically, I don't want to move that one over there. Keep C, yeah. Damn, did I just do that? me, fuck you been bullshitting. No, you don't. Trying to take out my goddamn boat. Oh. Send his ass to Mecca. The fuck? So you mean to tell me that's what the fucking thing is for? Don't build me a motherfucking bomber for no reason. Okay, I'll buy a motherfucking... God damn. What else was I doing with the money? shit first. Damn. Oh, it's a bummer. Which tank are you? Skip to you are this guy. So you do have moves. Bitch, shut up, or I warmonger your ass. Is there a holy site over here? Denounce me again, bitch. You better have a fucking global takeover. You tell me Mecca don't got a holy site? Mecca doesn't have a holy site. Huh. It's okay. Liverpool. Was that mine or did I steal that too? Yo, y'all motherfuckers is trash. Y'all ain't got no type of religion. Choose production. Completed armory. Ooh. 3 envoys. That's 5, and that's 8, 8, 9, 5. What's the closest thing is 5. Unit needs orders. Who is this? The tank. Fully healed tank. Go ahead. options. Air attack. What? So I can attack? And then so basically my bomber is useless. I have to essentially build a fucking whatever that thing is called. Aircraft carrier.
From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent.
International water. One thing I need. Each envoy you send to a city-state counts as 2 different governments. Nope. I ain't even worry about that shit anymore. Fuck out of here. Choose production. Trader completed. Do I have the right? Oh, I'm learning it right now. Choose production. Production. So I can build my aircraft carrier. What? I don't have a fucking aircraft carrier? Yeah, my fucking character's mad trash. Who the fucking spot? Shit. These orders. What's this? My tank. You. Orders. Motherfucker, if you ain't doing no bombing runs, I don't even want to hear from you no more. Go to sleep. Let's see, 3, 4, 2, 7, 1. Can't see. You sink my battleship. Alright, I need to quit for the day. stopping point. Who? Come on.
All material things seem to have been composed of the hard and solid particles, variously associated with the first creation by the counsel of an intelligent agent.
I don't think I got uranium. You're trash. Alright, I really gotta stop playing this fucking game. Fucking